Alright. Okay. Get this going. What's up, everybody? Just need to deal with a few things first. So, wake the MiSTer up. God, okay. SegaCD it is. Alright. Let's try and remember what I was doing. It's a disc. Snatcher US. Dun 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 dun. SegaCD. Sega. Alright, so I think we got up to the part where we are investigating a Snatcher's apartment, and apparently they've come back, but we don't know how they've come back. This should be interesting. I guess we have to find maybe a secret passage or something, or at least find out how they actually got back in. Right, so continue. Okay. Right, so what have we got? 3 hours 23. Total saves 28. We're only on Act 1, are we? Alright, I thought we were actually further than that, but okay. If that's the case, then let's just keep going. Right. Snatcher 1. What's up, Sword Fam? What's up, Zeke? And everybody else. Tripod only, yada 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 yada. Go. Okay, so we're back in the apartment. Apparently, someone's come home. We don't know how they've come home because we were camped outside. I guess we're now going to investigate. Also, Jesus, I'm so sleepy right now. Okay, right. So let's have a look around the area first. Remains? Remains of what exactly? Oh, dead body. Right. So look around area. Don't see Freddy anywhere. Freddy Krueger. Investigate area. There's no sign of anyone in this room. Okay. It remains. It's in the same condition as it was a few minutes ago. It hasn't been touched. Also, rip. Just gonna leave that there, are we? Listen, I'm not picking up any sounds. I don't hear anything besides this. This remains do not appear to have been touched. Okay. There's nothing on my infrared sensors either. Motion. I read motion coming from the bathroom. Go. Are you ready? Let's go! Okay. This is Freddy's bathroom.
Huh? The bathtub is empty. That thing was filled with water just a few minutes ago.
I read motion. This room.
Damn! Where is he?
Gillian, behind you.
Okay.
Damn! Damn! Damn!
What am I aiming at? Man. Okay. That's an interesting game over. Right, continue, investigate. Aim at Freddy using the reflection in the mirror. Okay, so... Oh, okay. Had a Gillian? What's a Toxot? Clueless? Oh, head exploded. Okay.
That was close. You're lucky I was here to save your skin. Who are you? Me? Random Hajil, bounty hunter.
Bounty hunter?
Yes, Gillian, a bounty hunter. As the junker profession is so dangerous, their numbers have fallen dramatically over the past few years. As a result, the government decided to put a price on Snatcher's heads in order to encourage private citizens to cooperate in the effort to track them down. Naturally, these bounty hunters must register with the authorities.
You said your name's Random, right? What did you do? Follow me here?
Yeah, you got it. Investigations aren't my style. You track them down, I take them out.
You have the legal obligation to state your bounty hunter registration number. Please do so now, immediately.
BH75001, Random Hajil. That's RANDOMHAJILE.
BH75001, Random Hajil. That's confirmed. I officially recognize you as a legal bounty hunter. Wow. Gillian, records indicate that he has already disposed of 3 Snatchers just this month. Counting Freddy, that makes 4.
4?
I've been at this a lot longer than you have. Just relax, rookie.
I like him already?
Oh, Junker boy, let me give you a little tip. You might already know, but Snatcher's weak point is their artificial skin. If they sit out in the sun too long, they get cancer. That's why they set up a hospital to treat this little problem of theirs. You find it, you can take them out, roots and all.
Where did you get all your information? Wait a sec. You stole it from Gibson, didn't you?
That's not really important. But now that Gibson's out of the picture, I need you to get busy.
I track them down and you junk them. Is that the idea?
Anyhow, it seems Gibson found that hospital. He must have left behind some information about it.
What do you mean, seems? Don't you know anything about it?
Hey, investigations are your job, right?
I owe you one, Random.
Yeah, I'll get it out of you later. See ya. Junker
Also,
boy.
that unicycle practically is the weirdest thing ever.
A Snatcher-controlled hospital, eh? There's bound to be more than a few of them in there.
Alright. Well, that was interesting. Act 1, end. Okay, so technically I could have finished Act 1 before finishing the stream yesterday. Okay. Right, save. Alright, I'll save everything that has happened up until now. How would you like to save it in? And let's override save 1. Alright, now continuing the investigation. Okay. Yeah, no spoilers, please, as usual. Okay? This is like a, well, semi-blind, but prefer not to have any spoilers if possible. Okay. What up, Chief?
Okay, let's try to sort all this out. Metal Gear, would you mind helping out?
Not at all. Now projecting recorded video images.
Gibson calls in and you two immediately head for the abandoned factory in the M District. But when you arrived, Gibson had already been killed by someone, or something at the factory. From hair and skin samples recovered from his body, you determined that the perpetrators were 2 Snatchers, one male and one female. In addition, from a floppy disk containing notes from Gibson's investigation, you discovered that Snatchers have a crucial defect. Gibson was apparently killed because he had learned about this weak point. And this weak point is a key difference between them and real humans. Their artificial skin cannot tolerate ultraviolet rays. Long-term exposure causes it to become cancerous, a form of melanoma. This severely limits the places and times that they can operate to midwinter, when daylight hours are their shortest, and of course at night. And it looks as if it will take at least 6 months for them to develop a new skin which overcomes this fault. So their biggest weak point was that they had to keep themselves protected from ultraviolet rays over the past 6 months. Gibson really put his earlier training as a science cop to good use in figuring this one out. And that's why they use plenty of sunscreen, even in the middle of the winter. As a result of this, it becomes clear that there is one thing they must have to continue their survival. And that is medical facilities, where they can treat artificial skin which has become cancerous. And it appears that Gibson may have located a hospital used for this very purpose. In an effort to determine where Gibson had been investigating, you analyzed his stomach contents, found buffalo meat, and headed to the only place in the city that serves it, Outer Heaven. Isabella Velvet, a dancer at this place, gives you a description, which allows you to put together a montage of the man Gibson was trying to track down. You then ran this montage through the city's data bank, using Jordan. And that gave you 2 suspects, Ivan Rodriguez and Freddie Nielsen. But from the condition of Ivan's skin, you determined that there was no possibility he could be a Snatcher. There was no evidence at all of melanoma. But as he was in possession of liquid sky, you turned him over to narcotics. Following that, a search of Freddie Nielsen's home turned up large quantities of sunscreen. Nielsen's wife, Lisa Nielsen, turns out to be a Snatcher.
Yeah, the soundtrack in this is great.
And you confirm that the skin cells found under Gibson's nails were from Lisa. Freddie Nielsen also turns out to be a Snatcher, and you dispose of him as well. The hair sample that was found in Gibson's hand is confirmed as being from Freddie. So you are able to determine that these 2 Snatchers, Freddie and Lisa, were the ones who killed Gibson.
Just leave him there being strangled.
But then we have a problem. The bounty hunter who saved you, Seed, Random Hajil. An investigation uncovers that the information he provided when he filled out his bounty hunter registration was completely false. So who is this guy? Friend or foe?
What about the bank account he was having his bounty deposited into?
It was a common account used for paying bounty, and the funds were retransferred from there. We couldn't learn anything from it.
Okay.
Thank
That
you,
is
Metal.
questionable.
And now for the real fun. The hospital that Gibson had tracked down. If we can hit that, we may be able to shut down this snatch operation of theirs. Or if we can find some kind of patient records there, we may be able to find them quite easily.
So, Little John's memory might provide us with an important lead.
That's right. If we're lucky, there may be something left that we can work with. Navigators record everything their junkers do, just in case.
Just in case, huh? Well, this looks like one of those cases.
Harry should have recovered it by now. Go see how he's doing.
It's about time.
I'm counting on you to find this hospital.
Alright, cool. So, save it before anything else. I want to use the video phone. Go away. Accidental phone call. Butt dialing. And just save it so I don't have to listen to all that again. Call Isabella. I don't have a number, I don't think. So, okay. Let's move and have a chat to Harry, wherever he is. This is engineering.
About time you got here, Gillian. I've got Little John's memory all ready for you.
Well, were you able to get anything from it?
Just relax. I'll put it on the monitor for you now. I'm afraid it was almost completely destroyed beyond recovery. Those Snatchers, they sure do a thorough job.
What do you mean? Wasn't there anything left?
Like I said, just relax. I was able to get one video image out of it. I don't have the slightest what this is, but it's definitely got something to do with Jean's investigation. This is it.
Hospital
so, Gillian, do
Olean.
you have any idea what this is?
Hospital Olean? This is almost certainly the Snatcher-controlled hospital that Gibson was looking for.
You ought to run the name through Jordan, but if that hospital is not legit, the data won't mean anything. This city is packed with unregistered hospitals.
The sign in this picture looks curved. This word Olean might continue past the edge of the image.
I've stored this image. You can view it at any time. Just use the graphic memory command in the possessions menu.
Okay, right, so let's have a quick chat with him. Joff. Harry, I get really worried sometimes. I think I may shoot a real person by mistake. You could never kill a real person. You're too gentle, you know. On the other hand, if I were you, I'd worry about the gentleness costing you your life someday. Yeah, give me a hard copy of that. Print that shit out. Random Hadule. Brady's really good already put down at least 3 of them, but I still don't get along with those types. I thought that those blasters were only things that could take out a Snatcher. In theory, that's right, a standard ray gun isn't just strong enough. Still, if you modified a standard ray gun to focus its energy much better than usual, you never know. That would make it that much harder to hit your target, right? That's right, in other words, this random is one heck of a shot. Normally, that just doesn't work. Olean. Okay. Yeah, I might be old, but I'm in good shape. Don't know too much about hospitals. Never heard of this one either. Right, okay. So... oh, look at this photo. Oh, that one, not that photo. Are you sure it's you? Yeah. Well, that is the bone structure of the kid in the picture, and it's definitely me. Okay. Olean's video phone number is written on it. Okay. Cavity search. Okay, so let's... hold on. Over tap. Let's go to the computer room. Get in what? I suggested that we check the hospital using the Jordan system, but Jordan system doesn't offer a hospital search function. Really? Why don't we ask Napoleon? Yeah, okay, that's a good point. Let's use Metal Gear. I forgot what his number was. Hold on, let me get it. Times 8 this, it comes in handy to have a tablet. Napoleon 395644, okay. 39564. Oi, Chinese person. What? You again? What do you want? More information? That's right, I need your help. Why don't we get the password out of the way first? Oh, God. The revolution. Okay. Can change in your password, eh? Right, use Jordan. Load ID file. Enter name. Nat. O. Le. E-O-N. Thank you. William Bonaparte. Yada 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 yada. He deposed the French. Yada yada yada. Proclaims some blah blah blah. The revolution has ended. Is ended. Okay. Yeah. Found the 100 Iran. Blah blah blah. Okay. Quit. Right, so let's give him a call again. Yeah, I think they changed them up just so that you're kept on your toes, which is kind of cool actually. 39.56. What? You again? What do you want? More information? Yes, that's right. I need your help. The 100 day. Oh, okay. So they change it. They change it dynamically. Then okay. So that's Rain, isn't it? R-E-I-G-N. No, you pass. But we can't talk on a video phone. I'll meet you in the usual place. Okay. What are you gonna do? So. Oh, cool. I'm gonna update my notes for that actually. Is ended. Okay. Right, let's move. Where'd you like to go? Woo Mika, yeah, of course. There she is. Hi. I think I'm finally getting used to being a junker. Yes, I think you're cut out for this work, Gillian. Ask. Random Hajile. Bounty hunter, eh? Can you trust people like that? Well, he sounds sort of cool, but a little scary too. I wonder what kind of person he is. But Olin. You sure it's on the island, right? Yes. Well, you're not much help. So, let's go to the turbo second. Please be careful, Gillian. Right, so we need to go to Alton Plaza. Well, normally I would agree with you, but Mitski, so yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. Exit. Alton Plaza. Wonder if Napoleon is here. Look. A few Christmas trees are set up here and there. Yeah, Christmas is just around the corner. Merry Christmas, everybody. Any plans for Christmas, Gillian? Me? Maybe some time with Jamie? Nah, I don't really know. So, you don't have any firm plans yet, do you? Afraid not. Don't worry. I won't let you spend Christmas alone. Thanks, Metal Gear. If no one else is available, let's spend Christmas together. Christmas with you? It'll be my first Christmas! Only in a worst case scenario, you know. Christmas with you is the worst case scenario. There really are a lot of attractive neon signs in the area. A number of people are waiting in front of the giant television monitor. There's Santa Claus there though. Yeah, we're in Australia. It's Christmas everywhere you look. Even Santa Claus is here. Santa Claus! Oh god. Man dressed as Santa Claus is handing out tissues as an advertisement. That's Santa Claus. What's wrong? Nothing. Probably just my imagination. Shall we check him out? Investigate Santa Claus. Let's check out this Santa.
Wait a minute. You're no Santa.
How'd you guess?
What are you doing in that outfit?
What are you talking about? Ugh, I'm quitting this job. It's too dangerous. Somebody's
I called them
after me.
yesterday. What's up,
I'm
batteries?
gonna end up dead, just like Gibson.
Okay, so investigate. Napoleon. Hey, don't be touching me. Costume. There's a tag on the suit which says Rick Bakery Productions. It's the same place which makes those out of heaven masks. That's that guy over at Plato's Cabin was telling us all about, right? Okay, so ask. About illicit hospital. Need some information about underground hospitals. Besides all the legit hospitals, there are scores of those underground places all over the city. You'll never be able to find them all. I've got ideas, you know, for the model, but I need to make some time to redo a few things on it first. Wait a second, you might be able to learn something about those illicit operations by checking up on pharmaceutical orders. After all, almost all of the drugs used on the island are manufactured here as well. That's right, all of the pharmaceuticals on the island are distributed or manufactured by Kobe Pharmaceuticals. Kobe Pharmaceuticals, eh? That's where Jamie works. Jamie keeps track of records of shipments of pharmaceuticals throughout the island. She might be able to find something out. Right? Let's call her and ask later on. Okay. If you're a specialist like that, will have a lot more to offer you than someone like me. Okay. Why don't you just go ahead and tell us who you really are, Napoleon? Now, us informers are easier to get along with if you don't know who we really are. One of these days I'll have to tell you why I'm called Napoleon. Got a cold out there, Napoleon? Some kind of allergy, I guess? Always get this way in the winter. An allergen that only operates in the winter? That could be Snow 9, you know. One can always pick up traces of Snow 9 whenever snatchers appear. This sneezing, it just goes on and on. Snow 9. A man-made strain that was developed by the military years ago as a defensive weapon to help protect bases and the like. But wasn't all of it disposed of long ago? Yes, but I hear talk about someone started cultivating it again about 3 years ago. 3 years ago? It's about the same time the Snatchers first appeared. Apparently that stuff grows back quickly even after it's cleaned out. The areas it grows in are off limits, but the wind brings it right into the city. Yeah, so that's repeating. Okay. That's repeating. That's repeating. I want to investigate. Yeah, that's fine. I was going to investigate him. Right, so... Somehow I doubt anything like that. So, show? Video memory? Olean Hospital. Oh, where the heck did I see that? Achoo! Sounds pretty bad. Joe? Before that, why don't we take care of business? Oh, okay. Use cash. Damn, take it. Yeah, thanks a bundle. Okay, ask. But Olean? I am a affiliate now. I became affiliate like a couple of weeks ago. Because you need to become affiliate, you need to have a minimum of 10 concurrent viewers, 50 follows, and stream for about 25 hours in a month. And it's super easy to get affiliate, so I just fucking did it just for a laugh. So I've actually got channel points now, which I need to set up at some point as well, so the Mahjong points will be coming back. May not be the only one you're looking for, but I know an Olean hospital. Yeah, they don't fucking track shit, do they? It's exactly the same details I was using for my main as well, which makes it doubly funny because if they ever bring my main back, I've actually got 2 accounts that are now affiliates. Which makes it extra funny. Oh god. Yeah, I'm not doing this for fun, you know. You're gonna have to do a little better than that. Oh, fuck you, Napoleon. Just as greedy as ever, huh? Yeah, take it. Thank you very much. I don't know too much about it, but it's over in the RF district. Why don't you go check it out?
Alright, I've had it. Don't call me anymore, okay?
Wait a minute, Napoleon. I'll keep any snatchers off your back.
They're after both of us. You better worry about watching your own back. Oh, by the way, here. A little Christmas present for you.
What? Tissues?
See ya. Merry Christmas.
Well, now he's gone.
No surprise there. He's got plenty of reason to be scared. Besides, I got the information I needed.
There's an advertisement on the back of that pack of tissues.
This is an ad for outer heaven. Just how many different jobs does that guy have?
Olean's gone home. Let's get over to Olean Hospital. Olean! Save it now first. Completed. Do I continue play? Yes. So let's go to Olean. Excuse me. So let's go to... I actually want to go to Jillian's apartment first, just to have a chat with Jamie. Just to ask her a couple of questions first. We've arrived at your house. What would you like to do? Excellent. Okay. Still looks like there's somebody standing in the window getting undressed there though. 20th century. Yeah. So let's move in. Have a proper phone call in here. Right, so video phone. Right, let's use the video phone. So Jamie's number again? Oh, 393-444, okay. 393-444. Whoa! I got a Snatcher!
Bet I surprised you, huh? Don't worry, this is just a tape. I'm at work right now. If you need to reach me, please call Neo Kobe Pharmaceutical Labs at 391-1009.
391-009,
Bye.
okay. 39109. Kobe Big Pharma. Right. She really had me for a moment there. Since when did she start pulling practical jokes like this? No doubt that message is a strategy of hers to deal with your troublesome calling. What is that supposed to mean, metal? There's no need to be embarrassed, Gillian. I'm fully aware that Jamie has snatched your heart. God damn it, even Metal Gear. Right, 391-009, okay.
Good afternoon. Neo Kobe Pharmaceutical Labs. May I help you? Oh, Gillian, what's up?
Gillian, please ask Jamie for her assistance. Yeah. We need to know if she has any ideas about black market hospitals, right? Okay, so talk. Looking really good, Jamie. Doing alright. Good God, talk. About answering machine. Give me that message on your answering machine. Wasn't that going a bit too far? Did I scare you? You bet you did. Were you worried? Yes, I was worried. How worried? Very worried. How worried? Well, really worried, you know? Good. Did you cut the jokes like that? If the Snatchers ever actually got their hands on you, I don't even know what to think about it as a joke. Okay, Gillian. Eat? God. Yada 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 yada. Okay, so ask UV therapy hospital. Right, the Snatchers require a hospital which has facilities to treat ultraviolet ray exposure. Do you have any ideas about that? Well, having facilities to treat ultraviolet ray exposure is nothing rare, but we keep records here in the hospitals on the island. I'll take a look at those. But don't get your hopes up. If it's a black market place running on its own, we probably won't have anything on it at all. Okay. If I learn anything, I'll give you a call. I've got a reason to talk to you again sometime. You silly. You don't have to have a reason to talk to me. You know, I'm sorry. How's your memory doing? Any sign it might be coming back? Somehow I feel like maybe I've always been doing this job. I didn't remember wearing white. Can't you recall anything, Gillian? Jamie in white? I'm afraid not. Nothing. If I learn anything, I'll give you a call. Okay, cool. Let's go on date. Sorry I couldn't go, but I was really happy that you asked. Jamie, I'd really like to see you. When can we meet? I think would just bring more pain, Gillian. Let's leave it at that. God damn woman. Alright. Hang up. It was nice talking to you, Jamie. Bye for now. If I find anything about the hospital, I'll give you a call. Thanks, I really need your help on this one. Yeah, very prevalent in you know though. See you later, Gillian. Bye. Okay, so don't call. Right, so let's enter bathroom. Exit bathroom. Let's exit the building. I think we're walking backwards though. Right, so turbo cycle. Let's go to Olean Hospital. Right, now heading for Hospital Olean. In a turbo cycle that's controlled by two joysticks which look like flight sticks. Yeah, we've arrived at Olean Hospital. What'd you like to do? Exit. That's not Hospital Olean though. This is the Olean Hospital that Napoleon told us about. There's a neon sign on the roof of the building. The entrance appears to be at the front. I wonder what they specialize in. There are no signs or anything. Because it's one of those illicit places. Really? Doesn't look very illicit to me. Window. Lights are on and there are signs of people inside. It looks like they were open. It's away from the worst of the slums. We could hardly call this a nice neighborhood. Okay. It says Hospital Olean. Is this really a place we were looking for? Automatically opening double door. You know what a smell? It doesn't smell like a hospital usually does. It's more like the smell of filth. We can't know unless we go in. Gillian, be very careful. Could this be the Snatcher maintenance facility that Gibson described? What's up, Wolverine? Look. Video memory. Little John. It's the visual image that was recovered from Little John's memory. The sign in Little John's memory is written in a totally different style. Strange cries can be heard coming from the building. It's covered with heavy metal screening. Okay. There's no one in the area. This hospital is in quite a lonely neighborhood. The neon sign appears different from the one in Little John's memory. Is this really the hospital that we saw in Little John's memory? This is odd. They seem to be using pressure plate sensors rather than more modern infrared. In other words, things haven't changed much since they opened. Must have been here a while. Cool. Open the door. Are you ready? Yeah, go ahead. We're in the hospital. This would appear to be the reception area. Oh. Ow, ow, ow. Okay. Oof. Okay. Look. Around room. This room appears to be a waiting area. Everybody is holding an animal of some sort. It's a fucking vet, isn't it? It's a veterinarian. The reception area is just inside the entrance of the front side of the building. Everyone is carrying an ID. It would appear that they're all law-abiding Neo-Kobe citizens. There are no suspicious-looking types here. Sign says dangerous or hard to control animals must be on a leash or in a cage. It's a vet, yeah. Parrot. These Gillian have real trouble with animals. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's fucking parrot. I really wish you would shut up. I really wish you would shut up. Yeah, parrot's repeating. Oh, spare me. Small animal? Penguin. Fucking penguin as a pet. I'm really sorry, but I just can't deal with animals at all. Leash on a penguin, yeah. Dog. Really sorry, but I just can't deal with animals at all. Yeah, like you keep saying. Small animals. Cat. Okay, ask. You heard any rumours about snatchers in this area? I'm not worried. We keep a dog at our house. So does this hospital. Snatchers hate dogs, right? There's no solid proof, but animals with good senses of smell are said to be able to pick them out. Well, actually, that makes sense. That's right. That's why so many people are starting to keep pets these days. We'll be okay, won't we? They stay away from animals, right? What kind of hospital is this? What? Didn't you know before you came? This is an animal hospital. Sorry, but I don't think they can help your little robot friend. Yeah, I'm not sick, I'm functioning properly. Yeah, it's a vet, isn't it? Doctor has a really good reputation. It's so hard to find a good vet these days. Yeah, smell. It really smells in here. It's the odor given off by these animals and their byproducts. That's it, I thought something was ripe. It's a form of pollution. Okay. Look. Seems fine. Ask about the hospital doctor. What about the doctor here? Is he any good? He's a fully licensed doctor with his genetic manipulation permit. This is about the only place in town that will see you without an appointment. Fully licensed, eh? He really loves animals, you know, and he's a great surgeon. Yeah, I saw the new D2 season, fucking Solo 3.0, the scythe weapon. It looks like Season of Opulence, except with all of the nonsense. Might be worth checking it out just to see what it's like. You're playing and streaming a Pokemon game, nice. Where's your license? Investigate. Where's the doctor anyway? Don't really do anything here. Yeah, Seasons of the Recycle. Okay, so I guess there's nothing here. We found out what this hospital is all about though. It appears to be a smaller establishment than I thought. No, Destiny 2, Clubers. They must be very rich individuals, yeah. Receptionist is doing some paperwork behind the counter. Looks like they take insurance here. Then it can't be an illicit hospital. Yeah, the penguin can jump. Yeah, okay. No point in checking the small animals. Around. Here's the treatment areas behind here. Okay. Animals all have collars and ID tags. They appear to be pets. Busy Soul, what's up? Yeah, ice physics. I haven't seen the PvP map yet. Probably have to check that out. Numerous posters about pet insurance and vaccinations. Don't want to investigate any of those guys. Can we exit now? Pass. Well, they don't do direct genetic manipulation, but their treatments are really good. They service manufactured pets here too. And they're approved by the Life Manipulators Oversight Committee. Okay. Okay, that's repeating. Snatchers, do those things really exist? Yes. Can we leave yet? We did find out what this hospital. Come on. So that's repeating. Repeating. It's repeating. That appears to be one of those super memory parrots. People use those birds frequently now when they study foreign languages or have other sounds they want to record, so it's a tape recorder. It's a Magellan Kobe penguin. They were developed in 33 as a breed which could thrive in tropical and temperate climates. It's one of those humming dogs, you know, the ones that have their larynxes modified to help eliminate sound pollution. Then why did it bark? Probably why it's at the hospital. It's broken. Ah yes, it's one of those pocket pets, popular among women as a combination pet and handbag. What the hell? They were created by splicing marsupial genes into common household animals. This one would appear to be one of the cat models. Fucking cat crossed with marsupial. Oh, that's funny. I can't really go to the treatment area though. Okay, so possessions. No. Video memory. Looking for a hospital with this sign. Well, it's not the one for this place. Looks kind of similar though.
Snatchers cannot tolerate dogs. It is improbable that this is their skin cancer treatment center.
Looks like we barked up the wrong tree here. So, now we're back to square one, huh?
Don't become too discouraged. We still have many leads. Let's head back to the turbo cycle.
Yeah, parrot with CDR storage. The parrot with SSD.
Olean Hospital.
Unfortunately, this wasn't the place.
You're right, Metal. Okay, let's go.
Clump, clump, clump.
Gillian, it's the emergency line from HQ. I'll connect you.
Gillian, I'm glad I got you. I got a call from Katrina. She said she has something she needs to give you.
Something to give me? What in the world?
She seemed really scared. Kept saying that Alice was barking.
When did she call?
About 30 minutes or so ago.
Damn.
Damn.
Gillian, we should hurry.
Yeah, Katrina's in trouble.
Yeah, that wasn't the place, G. Go to Gibson's house. Yes, the Gibson's house. Now, Metal. Set the automatic traffic control system to give us absolute priority. And for God, I hope she's safe. Alright, now heading for Jean-Jacques Gibson's house. Fuck. Still can't get over a turbo cycle that actually pilots with 2 flight sticks. It's kind of hilarious. Does make me want to play a virtual on though. We've arrived at Jean-Jacques Gibson's house. What would you like to do? Not strictly a loading sequence. We've arrived at Gibson's house. What would you like to do? Knock. Katrina, are you there? There's no answer. Katrina, there's no answer. Let's check the door. Okay. Look. Door. You can see the lights are on from out here. Investigate. Door. It's not locked. Move. Go inside. Alright, I'll open the door. Are you ready? Yes. Yeah, open it. Entered Gibson's living room. What about Katrina? Where is she? I don't see her. This is rather troubling. Look around room. We're the only ones here. Where could she have gone? Television and data terminals are still on. Yeah. Lights have been left on. What could have happened to Katrina? The monitors are all still hot. They must have been left on. What's this? I thought this was a window, but there's another shelf here. Why didn't I notice sooner? Investigate shelf. A model of a house is on the shelf. Yeah, I see that thing. It's on the back there. Model. It's a music box, but there's nothing inside it. House model is the only thing on the shelf. Its size fits the shelf perfectly. Okay, so there's nothing inside it. Or Katrina. I'm worried about Katrina. Let's see if she's in here. Good idea. Katrina! Katrina! Answer if you can hear me. That's not how you spell hear, by the way. There's no answer. Apparently she cannot hear you. Okay, so let's move to the study. Check out the study. Oh. Shit. What the? My goodness, what a shambles. Someone's turned the place upside down. Snatchers! They must have been looking for something. Okay, look around room. The room is a shambles. Things are scattered everywhere. PC-68. The monitor is broken. RIP PC-68. Must have shorted out. There are traces of burns on the case. Hard leather has been torn to shreds. And down feathers are leaking out. Okay. Investigate around room. Everything appears to have been smashed and broken. Based on the condition of this room, it looks like they were looking for something. Wonder what? I don't know, but it could be the same thing we're looking for. Yeah, okay. Machine is a total loss. It's a good thing we had already read the file on the disk. Maybe they're trying to destroy some kind of data on themselves. We can't read it off the disk anymore, but I have it stored in my memory, don't worry. Good stuff. It's the last working PC-68 in the world. It was a very rare item. RIP. Sofa. Appears to have been torn by a claw-like instrument of some kind. They were worried about the location of their hospital getting out. Trina must have discovered something related to that. I bet you're right. Several cuts run perfectly parallel to each other, suggesting something like an animal's claws. It was not a knife or any other cutting tool. Sopa's RAM doesn't get cleared. Katrina, are you in here? It's me, Gillian. There was no answer. Something must have happened. Yeah. Okay. Quickly save it before anything happens. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, continue. Okay. Right, so there's nothing else in here, I would think. Backyard garden. Let's take a look at the garden. Alice should be out there. This is the garden. Where's Alice? So Alice is missing too. Look. Area. There's nobody in the area. There's nothing unusual. There's nobody around. Look, there's a collar on the ground. Appears to have been torn apart. This tear is unusual. There is no way Alice would have had enough strength to do this. RIP dog. I'm not picking up anything on infrared or on my motion detectors. Just get a MiSTer instead of PC-68. There's nothing unusual. It seems almost too quiet out here. This garden doesn't lead anywhere. It was Alice's own private space. There's no way that Alice could have gotten out without going through the study. There's nothing unusual. It seems almost too quiet out here. Okay. Check this. Yeah, nobody else here. I feel like something else is out there. I feel like something else is out here. Maybe it's just my imagination. I'm not picking up anything on infrared or my motion detectors. Okay, good. Nobody in the area. Too dark for standard optical sensors. Night vision sensors don't read anything. Good. Appears that something was dragged on the ground here. Alice's magnetic collar. Special devices around their yard prevent the dog from going beyond the property if it's wearing this collar. Alice is a Doberman. That's not exactly the kind of dog that goes down easily. It's true. She was facing a human. Alice may be in earshot. Why don't you call her? Alice, Alice, here girl! There's no sign of it. She rather likes people, so she would no doubt come out if she was here. Yeah, nothing. Okay. Katrina. Yeah, Katrina's not here. Alright, return to study. Yeah, there's nothing here. I want to investigate that model again. Yeah, there's nothing in there, okay. We're outside of the house, okay, so look. Lights on, but nobody's home. Something must have happened here. And from the outside, yeah, nothing of unknown. Area. Not surprising, there was nothing of note outside. Something is odd here. Please use caution, Gillian. Appears normal, there's no sign that it was damaged. Okay. What's this? There are fresh footprints near the front door. Let's get footprints. A rather small print, 22.5 centimeters in length. I would estimate it to be a woman's footprint. Might be Katrina's. I believe it is Katrina's. The prints head away from the house. Spacing indicates that she was running. What's up, Tane? Yeah, unanimated hot tub at the moment. Soon though. Heading away from the house, okay. Look. Area? People jogging as well, good, good. There's nobody out here. Nobody there. Fine. Windows are securely locked. Yeah, okay. Area. Nearby streetlight is broken. Running away from the house. Call. No answer. Apparently she cannot hear you. No dog either. Okay, so can we go back in the house? Nothing. Got pawn carded, did you? Lol. Is that the receiver? Yada yada yada. Okay, so perfect miniature of Gibson's house, made from a cast, but the detail is excellent. I didn't know Gibson had made a model of his house. It appears that something was kept inside it. This model may have some connection with our investigation. True, after all, Jean left that search the house memo. This may be what he was referring to. Still, we have to find Katrina. Yes, investigate the model again. Can you not use the model? Perfect miniature of Gibson's house. It's made from cast. Okay. Definitely missing people from the House of the People. Right, okay, nothing there. More of a glass block shelf set in the wall and the window. Trees in the garden are visible. Okay. Look. Yeah, I've not actually played the MSX version, but apparently it's missing a chapter. Like, I was talking to Anne earlier and she said that it's missing Act 3 or something. You want to play the CD versions to have the full experience. Traces of burns on case. Okay. Down feathers. Wait. Achoo! Gillian, that sneeze. Maybe Snow 9? Wait a moment, let me analyze the air in the room. Yeah, there is Snatcher SD, which is completely different as well, yeah. Analysis complete. It's a very slight amount, but there are definitely traces of Snow 9 here. It would appear that Snatchers have definitely been here. What about communications? Can you transmit? Yes, the Snow 9 isn't dense enough to block communications. COVID-69. Nope. Nothing here, is there? Have a look outside the backyard again. There's nobody in the area. Nothing unusual. Yeah, I'm just gonna try and hit the trigger for this first, see what happens. Registration number printed on the side of it, yada 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 yada. There's definitely one else was wearing. Okay, investigate. Nothing unusual, seems too quiet. Pick up anything infrared on motion, okay. This house unusual, there's no way Alice would have had blah blah blah. Katrina's not out here. Alice is not here either. Okay, so moving rooms triggered it.
Read motion. Use extreme caution. The signal is coming from outside the window.
It's
Rip dog.
Alice.
The dog is dead. Body temperature suggests it was killed about 10 minutes ago.
It's the PC-68, okay.
No reason to kill the poor animal. Katrina.
Guts.
Where's Katrina?
We can leave the cleanup here to the junk crews. We should look for Katrina.
Judging from the mess they made here, it looks like they were looking for something. We're quite upset that they couldn't find it.
Perhaps that means that Katrina is still safe.
That's true. If they had her, there'd be no need to turn the place upside down like this.
Perhaps Katrina took whatever they were looking for and fled.
I bet you're right, Metal. We've got to find her before they do. Let's get back to the turbo cycle.
Let's get back to the turbo cycle. Let's go back to my apartment, actually. Okay, so how are we supposed to look for it? What? Plaza? I doubt you'd be at the plaza. Yeah, replace it with a MiSTer. Rip the dog, though. F in chat for the dog. Pull one out. What should I do? Exit? Open Plaza. Let's look for Katrina. She's not going to be here, though. Search. Hold on. Search for Katrina. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be quite hard getting hold of a MiSTer right now, especially if you're trying to get a hold of one. Right, let's try that area next. Nope, I don't see her anywhere. Does not seem to be in the area. Let's try the nightlife district. Metal, we gotta find her. Don't worry, Gillian. She won't get past my sensors. This is no good. I don't see her anywhere. She does not appear to be here. Well, let's try that area next. Nope, I don't see her anywhere. She does not seem to be in the area. Thanks. Let's split up and look for her. I'll take over there. Alright, I'll head in this direction. Did you spot her? No, I'm afraid not. Well, let's try the nightlife district. Metal, we gotta find her. Yeah, this is just repeating, isn't it? It's no good. I don't see her anywhere. She does not appear to be here. Nope. Katrina's nowhere around the shop windows. Don't see Katrina anywhere. Katrina does not seem to be here. Let's look elsewhere. Yeah, let's look elsewhere. Let's go to the police station, I guess? Why don't we stop by my apartment? Alright, let's go to my apartment. Dee 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 dee. Music's so good in this stuff. Dun 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 dun. Oh yeah, so just as a side note, I did actually get police notes working on the Sega Saturn, so that's next. Fully translated as well. We've arrived at your house. What would you like to do? Exit turbocycle. Yeah, I threw it onto an SD card yesterday and plugged it into my Terra Onion mode, and it works fine, so hopefully we'll be able to play through all of that after we're done with Snatcher, of course. This is your apartment building. I've not actually had a chance to play. Please. Oh, I saw somebody at the window.
Wait a sec. My lights are on. That's weird. I know I shut them off before I left.
Be careful. A Snatcher may be in your apartment.
Yeah, I've not seen anyone playing it, like, so it'll be interesting to see what it's like. It'll be a, like, completely blind playthrough. Move into... Oh, sorry. Look. Gillian's room. Hard to tell from here, but the lights are definitely on. Okay. Investigate. My room. Can't limit the movement sensor to just your apartment. What about your infrared sensor? I don't read anything. Apparently nobody is near the window. Investigate door. I'll check the status of the door for my apartment from here. Alright, now accessing the building security system. Alien, it's open. What? I know I locked that before I left. I'll open the door. Are you ready? Yeah, open it. This is the living room.
I hear something.
This time I can hear it too.
I read motion. Something is in there.
All right, Metal, lock the front door. We're not letting anything out of here.
Smell? What's that smell? A Snatcher? I'm not sure, but I've smelled that before somewhere. Sound seems to be coming from the bathroom. Okay, investigate area. Already no movement in this room, that's fine. Nothing seems to have been stolen. Nobody appears to be in this room. It's odd, the position of the chair and some of my stuff is different. Can I get out? There's some faint depressions in the carpet that would indicate footprints. Let's check this room first. I just did. Whoever broke in here may have set some trap for you. Fine. Don't see anybody in the room, and there are no places where a person could hide.
Kyakka.
Thanks for the raid, Antoine. Okay. Area. Looks like the chair and some of my stuff has been moved. The significantly different from your footprints. Okay. Thanks, Eiko. Thanks for the follow. Surface temperature of the surfer is relatively high. It would appear that someone was sitting there a few minutes ago. Yeah, secret account. Well, it's not so secret now, is it? How's everyone doing from Antoine's stream? What were you playing? Surface temperature of the surfer is relatively high. It would appear that someone was sitting here a few minutes ago. Okay. Read no movements in this room. Oh, Darkstalkers. Okay, nice. The shoe impressions are very sharp and deep. Most of the weight of the person was focused on one point. High heels. Something sharp? A snatcher? That possibly exists. Footprints lead to the bathroom. Sound is coming from the bathroom. I actually bought the game that James was playing earlier. Was it Drainus? It looks pretty good actually. I want to check that out at some point. What's that smell? Something's in there. Let's just go into the bathroom already. This is the bathroom. Thank you for the follow, amigo home. Bathroom. It's really hot and humid in here. Drain us these nuts. There's something in the shower. Electronic blinds and glass door prevent identification of whatever's in the stall. The in-use sign is lit on the window. There's an in-use sign? Quite funny. I read movement. There's movement in this room. Yeah, someone's taking a shower, clearly. My thermosensor shows a region of concentrated heat. I would say that hot water is being used. I read movement from within the stall. Okay, so look. Over. There's no one in the room. The shower stall is the only place that someone could be hiding. Someone's having a shower, you idiot. Temperature and humidity in this room is rapidly climbing. Should we go after it? That would be a very dangerous move if it was a snatcher. Open the store is a simple matter. What are you going to do, Gillian? Open booth.
I'll open the blinds by altering the electrical polarity. Are you ready?
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Now opening the blinds.
Whoa!
Hurt! Get out of here!
I hope you learned your lesson, Gillian. You definitely had that coming to you.
Oh yeah? Well, I...
Columbo's like you.
Close your eyes either.
That is because my optical sensors are not equipped with retractable shutters.
Oh, shut up. You know exactly what I mean.
Here comes Katrina.
I can't believe you did that, Gillian.
You see, I was just...
Face up to it.
Yeah, he's not blocking the view in the JP version, but you can clearly see nipples under that towel.
I was so frightened. I just looked up your address and I let myself in. I'm sorry. Did I surprise you?
Surprise me? You bet you surprised me.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. By the way, how did you get in?
Hey, I'm the daughter of a junker. I can pick locks in my sleep.
I see.
I
And you
see.
avoided the censors as well. You may have a promising career ahead of you.
He looks like Lin Minmay. Even fucking Metal Gear's like, whoa. Starting to get warm all over. Do I have a big zit on my face or something? I'm gonna need to check out your towel. Gillian, what are you doing? Don't you ever quit? I know what you have in mind. Stop teasing me, Gillian. Okay, so talk. Trina, maybe you should get some clothes on. Huh? I just took a shower, so I'm a little hot. I'd like to stay like this. Fine. Trina, I can loan you some of my clothes. I may take you up on that in a few minutes. No, you just find the way you are. Okay? But Alice. What's wrong with Alice? You see, Alice is... Gillian. What's wrong? She's dead. Forget it, I'll tell you later. You're weird. Okay. Jeez, I can't tell if the dog's dead. Katrina, you catch a cold. Okay, Gillian, I'll borrow some of your clothes, okay? Now, wait a second, before that, we need to talk. Okay. Ask, oh, okay. About age. How old are you, Katrina? Turned 18 this year. Okay. Really? Jeez, I can't believe how quick kids grow up these days. Even so, I'm pretty old for a model. Oh, great. What does that make Jamie? About that phone call, would you tell me what that was all about? Right, when I was straightening up the living room, I found this inside that model of our house. What was it? Oh yeah, there was a model of Gibson's house on the shelf, wasn't there? Hospital list. It's a list of hospitals. It appears to be a list of illicit medical facilities. It lists the name of the hospital, the director's name, its address, and an area of specialty. Well then, the Snatcher's place, the one that Gibson found, must be on this list. That's what search the house note. So that's what that search the house note that Gibson left meant. It was just a little too clever this time. Will this list be of any help? This list has over 3,000 places listed on them. Fuck. We could never hit them all. We need some other information to narrow it down. What about the image from Little John's memory? That should be the key. If you type in the name of the hospital, I'll scan the list for you. Ask hospital list. Do you know anything about this list of hospitals? I've never seen it before. But if my dad kept it in the house model, it must have been really important. Yeah, and it fits on one page, doesn't it? Okay. The hospital my dad found is on this list. Okay, nice. I think somebody was following me. I'm sure they were after my dad's list, but I couldn't get in touch with you. Sorry about that, I should have given you Metal Gear's number. Yes, that's repeating. Called before I entered your apartment, but I couldn't get in touch with you yet, okay? You didn't make any marks on the list, so there must be some other key. Okay. Yeah, it's one of those huge dot matrix printer rolls, isn't it? That phone call, yeah. That's fine. I mean, we can't ask her anything else. Investigate. Hospital list. Can I take a look at that hospital list? Go ahead, take a look. Investigate list. Alright, Gillian, let's see if we can find the Snatcher's hospital on this list. What about the hospital that was in Little John's memory? Why don't you give the name similar to that? Why don't you give a name similar to the one on that sign? Give me a name along the lines of the one on the sign. The sign said Olean, didn't it? Input the name of the hospital that you want to search for. Olean, right, okay, now searching. Holy shit, it's a piece of paper that scrolls? Not surprisingly, the only one is that veterinary hospital. What name does Olean bring to mind? That sign is definitely for that hospital, right? Visual image of Olean is almost certainly correct. So Olean is the starting point, right? Maybe we're reading it wrong. As long as there was no corruption of the image, we can be sure that the strokes and the letters in Olean actually exist, right? Depends on how you interpret Olean. What's up, Bender? Good evening. We're almost peak seller. We need to make the hot tub animated next. Do it in live 2D. And there's no whiteboard either. Or soliciting donations for random things. Depends on how you interpret Olean. As long as there was no corruption of the image, we can be sure that the strokes and the letters in Olean actually exist, right? Okay, so investigate this. Then we want to search for, so O Le E N. I'm not quite sure how I would do that just yet. Also, give me 1 second. There's black, there it is. Oh, you can't see it. Damn it. Yeah, I'll deal with it later. What's up, Dan's Quest? Water's pretty warm. Okay, check it again for me, will you? You want me to check it again? I don't think it'll be there. Olean, right? Okay, now searching. Nothing. Not surprisingly, the only one is that veterinary hospital. You can't actually go back though, can you? Unfortunately though, I have actually spoiled this one before because I have watched people play this. Something is missing, hang in there. Okay. As long as there was no corruption of the image, you can be sure that the strokes and the letters in Olean actually exist, right? I'm sure it is Queen though. The legendary Olean. Something is missing, hang in there. There's an... Wait a minute, hold on. Is there punctuation in it? Nope. I would if I could see the picture. The Queen Dash? No. Quite certain it is Queen though, isn't it? You. Let me just try something. I don't think that's it. Oh, that's right. Oops. Queens. Queens, right? Okay. Alright, now searching. I forgot there's supposed to be letters on the other side. So yeah, Queen's Hospital. Great, you found it, Gillian. Not really. So the neon tube was burned out, eh? And there were more letters to the word than shown in the picture. So Queens looked like Olean. That's what the chess piece was trying to tell us, yeah, because that chess piece was a clue as well. Yeah, I thought it would have been Queens with a dash as well, but apparently it's not, so I guess that's fine as well. Mio. Investigate list. Hospital's address.
What's the address of that hospital?
What's the address of that
District,
hospital?
PHC 77. The director is Chinese. Name, Chin Shu O.
Chin Shu O. He's probably a snatcher too. So we finally found their nest.
Gillian, please be careful.
Don't worry, Katrina. You're safe now. They won't be coming after you.
Just to be on the safe side, we will have Kobe police take you into protective custody.
Gillian, I'm sorry about the way I reacted in the shower. Maybe if your timing had been a little better, we might have...
Don't worry about it, Katrina. I think I needed a cold shower anyway.
I'm just so confused. I don't want to lose anybody else.
All right, let's go, Metal. We have to pay a visit to Queen's
Damn,
hospital.
girl. No, exactly. Damn, girl. Right, so let's go to Queens. And let's get out to Queen's Hospital. This is it. Alright. Now heading for Queen's Hospital. Dun 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 dun. Dee 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 dee. Yeah, it's... I mean, the neon tubes being burnt out as part of the clue, they do actually bring up the picture and they actually tell you as well, maybe it's interpreted differently, so you kind of have to put two and two together in that case. What's up, Oshawott? And said I unfortunately had spoiled this already, so because fucking loads of people I know played it before, so it's like, okay. The rest of it I'm not too sure of though. This is Queen's Hospital. I mean, for the most part, you play this exactly the same as most other, VNs. It's Queen's Hospital. I mean, it's pretty cool that they animate the sign burning out as well, so you can actually see quite clearly it's supposed to be Queen's. Hospital Queens. That sign, that's the one that was in Little John's memory. No mistake. Right, so look. Building. The building dates from the 20th century. There is no sign that they're in business. The building is not typical of these constructed as hospitals. It was probably originally used as an office building or for some other purpose. SegaCD's got some decent games on it actually, it's worth checking out, you know. Snatcher's obviously one of them. They've got some pretty good shoot 'em ups as well. Definitely worth a look if you haven't had a chance to explore it. And the SegaCD version of Snatcher is supposedly the best one as well. This sign looks like it says Olean even from quite close. Sometimes people's preconceived notions are capable of distorting reality, aren't they? Alright. There's a rather wide road passing by the hospital. A number of cars are parked illegally on it. Yeah, when I was younger, I was like largely into Nintendo stuff as well, but as time went on, I, went back to Sega, like to explore the stuff that I didn't have access to when I was younger. And there's quite a lot of good games out there. Like, it's very different to Nintendo stuff. Yeah, SegaCD Shadowrun, I'm not sure if you can get a hooker for it. You could probably use optical translate for it though. As long as the kanji isn't too garbaged up. I don't know if there's any text hookers that work on SegaCD or SegaCD emulators at least. But you can definitely use something like VNOCR, even if it's like slightly inaccurate in some cases. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. A surprising number of people are in the area. Car and pedestrian traffic is quite heavy. Okay. It's a round pillar-shaped building of the kind that were popular at the end of the last century. The only entrance appeared to be at the front of the building. Yeah, so you're saying that again. Right. Not surprisingly, part of the neon sign is in fact burnt out. A broken neon tube is flickering occasionally. Cleans. We're quite a distance from any shopping or residential areas. It's in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? It's facing a street, but things do not seem to be particularly well developed. The door is locked, but even I can open a mechanism this simple. Don't set off any burglar alarms or anything. Yeah, so you're going to say that again? Okay, so I'm just going to save it here before anything happens. Okay, so move. Go inside. I'll enter Queen's Hospital security program and disable the lock. Beepity beep beep beep. Boop. Ding dong. Well, it's an illicit hospital, isn't it? Illegal hospital, so they'd probably lock it. Lock disabled. Alright, I'll open the door. There's lights on upstairs though. We're inside the hospital. Awfully dark. There's a reception booth in the center of the lobby, and 3 doors along the wall behind it. This looks like the waiting area. There are no tracks in the dust that would indicate recent passage. Though nobody's been here, right? There's dust everywhere. Okay, repeating. There's nobody in the booth, the monitors are switched off. Old computer. Is that a PC-68? There's nobody in the booth, the monitors are switched off. Okay. Doors. Door 1. That door is closed. Okay. Door 2. That door is closed. Door 3. That door is closed. I'm not picking up any movement. There is nobody else in the area. Well, if they're not in business at the moment, what's the neon sign on for? If it appears abandoned, homeless and other people may move into the building. Good point. Well, what filth! There's no operational hospital in the world with floors this dirty. There's dust on everything. I don't see any footprints. Okay. Solid layer of dust is collected. It hasn't been operated for several months. What's this? There are some kind of switches here. I'm gonna hit the switches in a minute though. Switches have dust on them. It looks like they haven't been operated in a long time. Gideon, look at this. It says door control 1, 2, 3. The switches must be for those doors over there. Apparently they are operated from here. Not going to use them yet though. Yeah, the switches must be for those doors over there. Apparently they operate from here. Okay, so what was the other thing that you could check? Doors. Okay. Doors closed. Yeah. Okay, so use switches. 1. I'll push switch 1. Door number 1 open. Door number 2 open. Door number 3 open. Okay. Save it here just in case something really bad happens, because I get the feeling something will happen in a minute. Switcher! Right, so let's go into door number 1. We're in room 1, so look around room. There is an operating table. It would appear that this room was used for surgery or treatment of some kind. X-ray equipment is installed into the walls. Okay. It's a virtual reality monitor to support the surgeon as he conducts the operation. Oh, so they use VR for this, did they? An ordinary operating table. Okay, so I'm not reading any motion. Besides, there is no one in the area besides us. What was that? I'm not reading any traces of Snow 9. Good. The lens is clouded over. Monitors are shut off. Okay. An adjustable bed, but it's covered with dust. There is no sign it has been used recently. Now looking about the room. I don't believe anything is hiding in the room. Really? I don't know. Something about this bothers me. Everything seems to be in order. Are you sure about that? Appears to be a very well equipped. Yeah, so I'm gonna look just one more time just in case. I don't trust it. X-ray equipment. Yeah, so that's repeating. Camera and lighting equipment from surgery everywhere. Okay. Yep. Okay. A layer of dust on the sheet. Okay. Not reading any motion. No one in the room in the area besides us. Okay. Lens is clouded over. Monitors are shut off. Okay. An adjustable bed, but it's covered with dust. There is no sign it has been used recently. Okay, so that's fine. Let's grab a drink first. Oh, excuse me. Smoothies. Right, so let's go to door number 2. It's probably something in door number 3. We're in room number 2. Everything's all red though. Around the room. A number of specialized devices and machines are located throughout the room. Like what exactly? Genital manipulators. Yikes! Various lasers, microsurgery implements. This place seems well equipped. Once abandoned like this, even the most costly equipment is useless. There are jars for preserving items in formaldehyde and a number of other containers and chemicals. Thing on the shelf, okay. Desktop. There are various types of biotech equipment. They were apparently carrying out some rather involved project. Woodface. Monitors? It's a very expensive monitor with super high resolution for medical applications. All of these are, well, used to be extremely high quality monitors. Okay, containers. Some contain specimens. I'd rather not look too closely at them. What kind of specimens, though? There is nothing pleasant in any of the containers. Okay, so investigate. Equipment and supplies for experiments have been left right where they were when they were being used. There is nothing alive here. This place really gives me the creeps. I would suspect that it would be difficult to artificially create the rundown condition of this equipment. Yeah, it's been around for a while then. Got cobwebs on it. There is no sign that this room is being used at all. There is no sign that any of the containers or chemicals have been touched. They were all covered with an even layer of dust. Also, I did notice there was a door in room number 1, but probably have to go back and check that again. Desktop. There are a number of pieces of equipment, but none of them are set up for operation. The amount of dust is the same as in other areas. This equipment would need extensive maintenance before it could be used. The place gets ransacked by people who collect this kind of shit. Some of the containers are broken. Nothing in here, is there? Okay. Go to the hallway. Move to 3. It's totally dark in here. Can't see a thing. I have a light installed just for situations like this. Please use it if necessary. Turn on light. Alright, turn your light on. Yes sir, coming on. Light is now on. I turn control of it over to you, Gillian. What the frick? Operate the light with a direction key. Press the B button together with the direction key to move the light. Otherwise, the direction key navigates through commands as usual. Okay. Make sure that objects you wish to examine are centered in the light's beam. Yeah, it's the tiniest frickin' light ever, isn't it? It's a vase, there are no flowers in it. Completely ordinary vase. The drawer. Let's investigate the drawer.
There seems to be a scrap of paper caught between these 2 drawers. The others are empty. It appears that someone tried to straighten up in a hurry.
Let me see that paper.
Here it is.
What? What is this? It looks like Chinese or something. Metal translated.
Okay, let's see. Patient record, first examination. I'm not familiar with the next 5 characters. It's the first time I've ever seen any of them.
I thought you were supposed to be really good at Chinese.
My strongest areas are in chop suey, egg foo young, and wontons.
Rare Chinese characters. Or maybe some kind of code? At any rate,
Fucking hell,
this is
metal.
definitely part of someone's chart. If we can figure out these characters, we may be able to uncover another Snatcher.
What do you suppose happened to the other records?
Looks like someone cleaned them out of here. Maybe they knew we were coming.
Somehow I get the feeling that the Snatchers know what we're up to. I'll store the fragment of the file.
Okay, cool. Is that the Kremlin? Picture of some kind of a temple. Looks somewhat Islamic. I think I've seen that thing somewhere before. Damn, I just can't remember. Investigate. A very old photograph. Judging from the condition of the inks and paper, I would suspect that it's at least 50 years old. Picture like this doing on the wall here. Metal, what is this a photo of? One moment please, I'll scan my data files. Beep bop. Mr. Destructoid. I have a positive ID. It's Cathedral of St. Basil. A famous landmark that was a Moscow landmark before the catastrophe. It's in Moscow. St. Basil's Cathedral? Have I heard of that? Can't seem to remember. Come to think of it, there was a map of Moscow on the wall in Freddie Nilsson's apartment, wasn't there? Moscow, eh? What connection do the Snatchers have with Moscow? The Russian, probably? I've stored this photo in my memory. Alright. It's a monitor. Looks like one from a personal computer. Is that a PC-68? It's a monitor designed for use with a computer. Oh, what's this? Something on the desk. A box of matches on the desk. Oh my, these matches are from Outer Heaven. Outer Heaven seems to be quite a popular spot with our Snatcher friends. I would suspect that they'll go there to select the victims. I'll store these matches as evidence. Okay. Found it. A whiteboard of the type used for messages, lectures, or other functions. The whiteboard with a copy prevention device installed. Okay. See nothing unusual. Got everything here. I think so, isn't it? Use Metal Gear. Save. Yes. Okay, have a look in the hallway. There's nothing here, is there? Maybe, maybe not. I think there's something in here though. Something really weird about this place, because you wouldn't look around. Let's see if you can actually exit this place, because if there's still something here, then we probably... Oh, we can exit, okay, good. Alright, so... Possessions, investigate, evidence, matches. Matches from Outer Heaven, there's probably something they give away to their regular customers. Okay. Appears to be part of a patient's record. I wonder what this writing means. Actually, I've got an idea. Hold on. What's his phone number again? 395644. Okay. There is a random Chinese person in my phone book I can call though, so that might be useful. 395644.
The number you have reached is not in service at this time. Please check the number and dial again.
Great.
This is a recording. JT&T Neo Kobe.
It's funny, I'm sure I got the phone number right. Perhaps the Snatchers have killed Napoleon too. What's this symbol? Looks vaguely familiar. It's the guy from the front of Outer Heaven, isn't it? Where in the world is Napoleon gone? A wolfman. Aha, now I understand. Gillian, I know where Napoleon is. Have you figured it out? Let's hurry up and head there. Yeah, I've called the Konami phone number before. It doesn't really give you anything interesting anyway. It's just like fourth wall nonsense. Move. Let's go to Outer Heaven. Outer Hebrides. Dee dee dee. Bing bong. We've arrived at Outer Heaven. What would you like to do? Well, we technically can't get in without a mask though, right? This is Outer Heaven. Look. Barker. That doorman with the wolf makeup again. Apparently it's not masquerade time right now. The same makeup, but I can't determine if it's the same person that's wearing it. Makeup that elaborate requires taking a cast of the face of the person who will wear it. It's the same guy. Okay. Hey, are you who I think you are? Hey, what are you doing? Right off. It's the same person. All the places around here are fully booked with Christmas and New Year's parties. You really remind me of somebody I know. I bet that's you, right, Napoleon? I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know anyone named Napoleon. I know it's you, Napoleon. I'll cut this stupid act. I'm afraid you've got the wrong man, sir. Come on, Napoleon, what's the problem? Stop this nonsense. Hey, I'm just a doorman. Everything will be fine, I guarantee your safety. Don't worry, now take that mask off. Not a bother. Do you have any proof that this Napoleon and I are the same person? Napoleon, that's you, right? You're gonna have to show me some proof, sir. Proof? You want proof? Give proof. Body type, vocal pattern, accent, personality, smell. Yeah, that wormy, untrustworthy attitude of yours is just like him. That's proof that I'm a policeman. Vocal pattern? Yeah, you have the same voice, that's it. So what's that supposed to mean? That's it, Metal. Analyze his voice print against that of Napoleon. Oh, damn it. I'm sorry, Gillian. I haven't stored any of Napoleon's voice data. I won't let it happen again. That's really too bad. Damn it. Accent? I know the two of you talk the same way. So what's that supposed to mean? Damn it. Body type? It's that you and he are the same height. Is that the best reason you've got? Nope. Smell? Got it. You smell just like him. Gillian, what did Napoleon smell like? You shut up. That's no proof. Yep. Sneeze. Now I've got it. It's that sneeze. I remember. You sneeze just like him. He has hay fever. Alright, you win. I've had enough fun for now. Just wanted to play with you for a bit. Nice work, Gillian. You're a first-rate junker. Go on in.
Have a seat, Gillian. We're safer in a crowded place like this.
Jeez, you really had
Also a
me
boober.
2 roles in 1.
Gesundheit.
Well, you know, you gotta understand. Being an informer isn't exactly the safest job on the planet, you know. That's why it's important to be a master of disguise, like me.
Yeah, but I feel pretty stupid. I mean, all that time I was asking you about where Jean went, I didn't realize I was asking someone who actually worked there.
Hey, I was just as surprised as you were. But I didn't know that Gibson had been here. You see, I wasn't working that day.
Anyhow, it's not masquerade night today. Why don't you take that mask off, Napoleon? It's a little unnerving sitting here talking to a wolf.
All right. I suppose there's no harm there. Boy, you really work up a sweat in these full-face masks.
Oh, boy. Maybe you should have left that on.
Still, you did a nice job of figuring out who I was.
Come on, Napoleon. That stupid phone recording with the Wolfman? JT&T would never do anything that tasteless. Besides, what really tipped me off was that constant sneezing of yours.
Sneezes, eh? Well, listen, you want me to tell you why I'm called Napoleon?
Because winter gets the best of you. Napoleon Bonaparte sent his enormous army into Russia in 1812, but suffered a major defeat because of the snow.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, the sneezing isn't a cold. It's my allergy to Snow 9 power. So, anyhow, what did you want to know?
I've got a couple of questions to ask you.
Fire away.
Okay. So let's look around first. Napoleon. Looking at you like this, you look pretty normal, don't you? Normal? Just what's that supposed to mean, huh? Mind your own business. Go. Area. It's not masquerade time at the moment, but don't be staring at the customers, okay? It makes them nervous, you know. All day nightclub. This is not plywood, in fact, it appears to be a very high quality stock. Investigate. Hey, aren't you ever gonna trust me? I'm the real thing, alright? No. There's many people here who won't stand out. You can talk safely about anything you like. Scan for listening devices and there are none. Feel free to discuss anything you like. Come on, you gotta learn to trust people. No, I don't trust you at all, son. You're Chinese, right? That's right. Purebred. I might add. I came to Neo Kobe just after I turned 20. My only memories of the place are from after they lost the war. It wasn't a pretty picture. I tell you, the catastrophe really changed my life. Everything about it. That was a crazy time. Okay. Can I show you? Patient. Can you take a good look at this for me? What's it mean? You're Chinese, right? Well, well. I'm not surprised that you had trouble with this. What's that mean? These are Chinese characters for chemical elements, hardly in standard use. If I wasn't a science major, I probably wouldn't know them myself. The simple code used in the characters. Okay, so what's the code? These are Chinese characters for chemical elements, hardly in standard use. Wasn't a science major, I probably, I guess, yes. Meaning of code. What's this about Chinese chemical element characters? What do you mean? Character on the far left is beryllium. Okay, hold on. Let me just write this out. So, beryllium. Next one and the very last one, nitrogen. So nitrogen, and there's nitrogen again. Third one was sulfur. Third one, oxygen. Oxygen. I know the answer already. Yeah, don't say it though, but I know the answer already. So, the character on the far left is beryllium. The next one, and the very last one, are nitrogen. The third one stands for sulfur. The fourth one is oxygen. Beryllium, nitrogen, sulfur, oxygen. I've got it! Gillian, let's go over the names of these elements, shall we? Infer. What's the name of this file? Please input your guess. Benson, isn't it? Beryllium. Hang on. Nitrogen. Sulfur, oxygen, nitrogen.
So that's it. Benson. Beryllium is Be, nitrogen is N, sulfur is S, and oxygen is O. And another N makes Benson. The name Benson was encoded on this file.
Benson. I sure hope it is not referring to the chief, Benson Cunningham.
Or to our friendly engineer, Mr. Harry Benson.
Da-dun.
No, that couldn't be. No way.
But the possibility, though remote, does exist.
Metal, I want you to cut off all your data transmissions to headquarters now.
Understood. Now disabling automatic transmission routines. Done. No further data transmissions to headquarters will be executed.
My God. A Snatcher in Junker headquarters? We've got to get there quick. Let's go, Metal.
See you later.
Yeah, unfortunately the gear be transmitting. It's a bit late now though.
Tidbit is on me. Now take care, Gillian.
Take care,
Get yourself
Gillian.
taken out by some snatcher.
Sus.
After all,
There'd be an imposter.
main source of income.
Among Us.
You be careful too, Napoleon. You get killed and you won't be able to sneeze anymore.
What's that supposed to mean?
See you, Napoleon. Metal, let's go.
Click, 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 click. Dun, 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 dun. Dee-dee-dee-dee. Let's go to Junker HQ. I could go back to Gillian's apartment and, like, eye up Katrina for a little bit longer. But that's not going to achieve anything. So let's just go straight for the Junker headquarters. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Arrived at headquarters. What would you like to do? Yeah, it's a pretty short, but it's a pretty compelling story, this, actually, now that I'm sitting through it properly, rather than experience it through some other players. Actually pretty good. Very simple, though, considering that you don't really need to do too much besides look for the correct trigger in each scene. This is the reception area. Welcome back, Gillian. Glad to see that you're safe and sound. Mika, the Chief, and Harry there. Chief and Harry out right now, I think. Oh, really? Have you been able to contact Katrina yet? Harry. You have something for Harry? What, you have something for Harry? Chief, what did you make? What, did you make some dreadful mistake again? Nope. Broken the code that was on the patient's record. It was the patient's name. In other words, I have uncovered a possible Snatcher. What? Who? Oh my god, it's not someone I know, is it? I don't know their full name, but the name Benson was written on the file. In other words, Benson Cunningham, the chief, or our friendly engineer, Harry Benson. That's a situation. You be careful too, Mika. Can't believe it. I know you don't want to believe it, but we're dealing with Snatchers. It's the way they operate. Okay, so let's leave it here. Sadly, I will be comparing every game to Uno because that's now the gold standard of every visual novel that I've ever played. Which file number would you like to save it in? Would you like to continue play? Yes. Okay. That was it. Right, let's go. Let's go to... I want to go to the computer room first. Excuse me. Burp. I want to use Jordan first, actually. I want to see what happens if I type in Benson. Let's load ID file. Oops, spelled it wrong. Benson Cunningham, Chief Junker Agency 46, yada yada yada. Blood type B+, needs special anti-snatcher force. Foxhound! Yeah. Poor being named Junker Chief. Also served as tactical instructor in Foxhound Special Force in the 20s. Participated in 2033 Wellington Olympics in Judo. Kojimbo strikes again. Foxhound. God. Alright. That didn't really give me much. Actually, can I put Harry Benson into this? ID file. Name. Harry Benson. Yeah, huh? Harry Benson. Damn it. Harry? Ah, there he is. Why did not find it? That's weird. Oh, can you only search by first name? Engineer Junker 55, yada yada yada, blood type O, single, originally member of government science team to combat Snatchers before its combination with police team to form Junker Agency. Parents die in the catastrophe, Harry taken into government custody. Earns PhD, age 14, wow, he's a smart ass, is he? Gains widespread attention for his development of weapons during World War III, oh god. Joins NASA following war and contributes to Ramjet engine development team. 3 Nobel Prizes, 1 Fields Prize. Okay. Oh, no, that's right, no spaces. It's fine though, you can find it with the first name as well, so at least they give you that fallback just in case. Where would you like to go? Let's go to the engineering room next, actually. This is engineering. Harry is not in. Either the chief or Harry is a Snatcher. Let's look for evidence. We have to proceed with the investigation with the utmost care at this point. Let's start the search for this room here. Poster. Poster of a famous pop star from the previous century. Okay, photo. The photo from Harry. It's a picture from Harry's childhood. There's something on the desk. There's a box of matches and a memo. Out of Heaven's logo appears on the box. What? Out of Heaven matches? Harry had Out of Heaven matches? the memo? Face to face. It says face to face. Face to face? It's in very bad shape, but the corners have been reinforced. I was really taking good care of it. Okay. We could see the entire photo, we could determine who Harry's parents were. It's definitely a box of the matches that Outer Heaven gives away to its regular customers. Harry's the only one in the headquarters who smokes. Well, can't believe that Harry might be a Snatcher. But he had matches from Outer Heaven. No, I can't believe that Harry could be a Snatcher. Let's hang on to these matches. That will not be necessary, they're identical to the ones we already have. I'm constantly recording everything that happens, it will be a burden on the investigation. Let's put them here. Okay. It's in Harry's handwriting. I wonder if it's some kind of message. Face-to-face thing has got to be the key. We have to search the areas that this brings to mind. Probably means either search for face-to-face or watch out for face-to-face or something like that. Hang on to this memo for me, Metal. Alright, I'll store this memo as evidence. Okay, so... this is nothing else here then. Would you like to go? Go to the Chief's room? This is the Chief's office. He's not in at the moment, so both of them are out. Alright, let's try this last room. Oh, fuck! Fucking... hold on a minute. Accidentally moved rooms. Okay, so look. Chair. Chief's chair. The Chief's not in it. Well, you know shit. The monitor is switched off. It's unusual. It's the first time I've ever seen it shut off. Wait a minute. Do you notice anything odd about this picture? Look, doesn't it look like a face to you? Face. I don't get it. Well, I do. Look, it looks like a face. Investigate everything else first. The chair's surface temperature is quite low. Looks like the Chief's been out for a while. That would seem to be the case. Most of the monitors are quite cold. Okay. Look at this. I thought it was just a picture of a vase. If you reverse the background of the drawing, it's two faces. Face to face! This must be the face-to-face that Harry was referring to in his memo. This picture was cleverly designed to take advantage of the human sense of sight. What's that supposed to mean? That you can see it easily if you're not human? Let's search more carefully. Check out the face-to-face part of it, will you? There's a switch between the two faces, I'll push it. Hey, there we go. Picture flipped over to reveal a photograph. Dee-dee-dee-dee. What is that? I've seen this somewhere before, but I just can't recall. Is that Russia, by any chance? Is that Gorbachev on the picture? What would a picture like this be doing here? Based on the condition of inks, I would judge this photograph to be at least 50 years old. Metal, where was this picture taken? Alright, I'll now search for data on this photo's location in the Alpha 1 network. Could be Lenin, yeah. Found it. This photograph of Red Square in Moscow, taken sometime before the catastrophe. Communist snatchers! Red Square? What's a picture like that doing in the Chief's office? Slow down your video memory for me, will you? I have now stored the photo's image in my memory. The Chief had this picture. Well, someone planted it there to set up the Chief. And there were those matches that Harry had too. Which one is the Snatcher? It will depend on what evidence we can turn up. Both of them seem suspicious. Maybe it's somebody else entirely. It's Mika! Mika is the Snatcher! That's true. The patient chart with the Benson on it is quite suspect as well. Maybe somebody wanted us to find it. It seems pretty odd that the Snatchers would have left part of a patient's record behind in the first place. Grab the UV lamp. Maybe it's a trap. That can't be ruled out based on the evidence we've seen so far. Okay. Let's investigate again. Chief's chair is not in it. Okay. Monitor switched off. Can you actually switch the monitors on them? What would a picture like this be doing here? It would appear that the chief has been out for some time. It would appear that they were shut off some time ago. Metal, do you think this is a little strange? What's that? If I was a Snatcher, I don't think I'd hide a picture in a place as out in the open as this. Well, that's true. So there must be some reason why the picture was here, even if it meant some risk. Red Square. Why would there be a picture like this in the chief's office? There's nothing else here, is there? No. What would a picture like this be doing here? Save it very quickly. Okay. I don't think there's anything else here. At least it's not giving me anything particularly new here. Let me put this photo of Red Square back where we found it. Yeah, we can't let anyone know we've learned the secret of this picture. Where would you like to go? Let's go back to engineering. Let's look for clues where he's at. Okay, so poster, yeah. Poster's all the same. Picture from Harry's childhood, yeah. Box of matches on the desk, yeah, we know about those. Evan's logo appears on the box, yeah, we know about that. In very bad shape, yeah, okay. Reading. Could see the entire photo, we could determine who Harry's parents are. Definitely box of the matches, yeah. Video memory. St. Basil's Cathedral. Okay. The photograph of Red Square. Okay. Nope, we know that one. Just want to double check there's nothing else with these bits of evidence. Face to face, yeah, so we knew about that. I wonder who really wrote this. With a little practice, just about anyone could forge Harry's handwriting. There could be anybody. I think it's the chief, though. Matches from out of heaven, yeah. Same matches that were in engineering. That's right. Okay, so move. Go to the front. Talk. Mika's opinion. What do you think? Must be some kind of a mistake. I want to believe in them, but you, Harry, the chief, I really love and trust all of you. I don't want to distrust anybody. Well, unfortunately, you might have to. Right, hold on. So let's ask about Harry's whereabouts. Harry's out right now. He seemed to be going after the chief when he left, yet said he had to check on something. Oop. Damn it. Hold on. Ask about Harry. Now that you mention it, he's been gone for several hours. That's odd. I wonder where he went. He's been a little restless lately. He seemed to be investigating something. That's right. He gave up smoking all of a sudden the other day too. He was always such a heavy smoker too. That's funny, isn't it? Heavy smoker? So those matches were Harry's. So that's repeating. Make sure she doesn't say anything else. Now they mention it, he's been gone for several hours. Okay, so let's ask about the chief. Chief is out right now. I don't know when he'll be back. Not helpful at all. It's really unusual for the chief to leave headquarters. Probably some meeting to prepare for the upcoming Kyoto summit. It's really unusual for the chief to leave headquarters, yeah. So what's his condition? The chief has been really busy lately. He'll be attending the Kyoto summit next month and he's had a lot of meetings and stuff related to that. I'm not really sure. He's the kind who keeps things bottled up, you know. Wonder what that hidden photograph is all about. Okay, ask about Kyoto Summit. Kyoto Summit? What's that? It's the annual summit of the leaders of the world's advanced countries. It will be taking place in the old Kyoto this year. Okay, we have to go to Kyoto. One of the topics on this year's agenda is the Snatcher menace. Other countries are starting to worry that Snatchers are not just the Neo Kobe problem anymore. More than likely. What's up, Highwinds? Good evening. His opinion. Okay, so we talk about that. Right. Just let me have a drink first. Excuse me. Like how my model actually has a drink as well whenever I do. Okay. Can I investigate Mika? I said some things I should have. Okay, so there's not much else I can ask her about though, right? Okay, so move. Where shall we go? Step a second. Please be careful, Gillian. Oh, from Jamie. I have a video phone call from Jamie. I'll connect you. Bing bong.
Gillian, it's me, Jamie. Listen carefully. You know that Queen's Hospital? I found out that they undertook a major expansion project in 2035 to put in a basement. That's right, they have a basement. Basement construction is really unusual here in Neo Kobe. That's why there are still records of it. But there's more. The director of that hospital, Shin Shu-ho, has had his license suspended in the past for performing eugenics experiments at an illicit underground facility.
Are you telling me Queens has underground treatment facilities?
That has to be it, Gillian. Chin Shu-ho is performing skin operations on Snatchers underground.
And that means that Chin himself is also probably a Snatcher. Or rather, the real Chin, the original Chin, was snatched.
So, that entire ground-level complex is just a front for the underground facilities.
And if we hit that hospital, we can ruin the Snatcher's plans. Well, this is it, Metal. We're heading right into the enemy's headquarters this time.
Gillian?
Yeah?
This sounds really dangerous. I just wanted you to know, I want you to come home safe.
Jamie...
The reason I left you is because I thought you were pushing yourself too hard, being self-destructive. And it seemed like the wedding ring you were wearing when they found us had become a tremendous burden on you. I didn't want that to be the only reason we stayed together.
What's up, First Will?
I never felt that way at all.
I'll be waiting for you. We may not have our memories, but you are the only one I've ever shared any time with. Be careful, Gillian.
Jamie.
Are you all right, Gillian?
Yeah. All right, Metal, let's go. We have to pay a visit to Queen's Hospital. Her Majesty is waiting.
I knew there was something fishy about that hospital, though. It's probably in room 1 as well, I'm expecting, because they wouldn't let you, like, look around the place. And Gillian wouldn't say, like, there's something really fishy about this place. If there wasn't a reason to do that. Let's go back to Queen's. I'm gonna get snatched up very quickly. This game's so good though. Very good story.
Just where do you think you're going?
This is most unusual. The turbo cycle seems to be out of control.
Switch over to manual. I'll take over.
Understood. I've switched to manual control. Well, how is it?
What the? We've got no brakes! Metal, check the brake system out. Pronto!
Sorry, Gillian. Looks like sabotage. No doubt the Snatcher's handiwork.
Sabotage? But the only one who could work on the turbo cycle.
Worry about that later. Gillian, we've got to do something quickly.
Pull emergency lever. Metal, pull the lever over there. Alright, here goes. That's the handbrake. It broke off. Guess we've had it. Jump out. Can't be serious. At this speed, you'd be torn to pieces. Jump out. We'll never survive it. Be like jumping off the Brooklyn Bridge. A rather dated image, don't you think? Jump out. Can't be serious. Give up. What, are you giving up? No. We've had it. There's nothing we can do. Don't give up so easily. There might be some way out of this yet. What in the world are you doing? Hit cliff. Press button. Drive into sand pile. Yeah, this game's really good first world. Like, I'm glad I actually gave it a proper chance to play it as well. So it's actually very compelling. Press button. Right, let's try a long shot. Press this button here.
And a good morning to you, my friend.
That's the radio.
On the big 90.7. Looks like we're gonna have a bright.
Turn the radio on, Gillian. What are you doing? Try plant this thing in that sand pile over there. Hang on tight. Yeah, damn. Won't anything work? Hit cliff. We'll try sideswiping the cliff. Hang on, Metal. Damn, even that won't stop it. Jump out. That won't work anymore. We're finished. It's been nice knowing you, Gillian. Shut up. There must be something. Hopeless. We're moving at over 200 kilometers an hour. There's no way we can survive. Damn, the speed keeps increasing. Oh no, Gillian has given up. Now we're truly doomed. Oh, shut up, will you? I'll think of something. Probably. We're gonna die. We're gonna die. We've had it. Oh dear lord. Hit cliff. Damn, even that won't stop it. Driving the sandbank again. Press button again. Oh, there's a switch for the afterburner. And now we're going faster. Whoops. You've boosted our thrust by 23%. Do something, Gillian. Pray to God. Well, Mel, I haven't known you for very long, but it's been fun. Gillian, let's pray together. Actually, I'm not that religious. Didn't think so. That's a Gillian prayer. Look, new command is open on the menu. Fourth wall. Pray to God. Hit control panel.
Damn. What else can we do? Metal, start punching buttons.
Any buttons at all?
Yes, push anything.
Gillian, this doesn't seem to be doing any good.
Damn, I was sure that would work.
Gillian, the road makes a sharp right turn just 1,500
Just spin in a circle. Do donuts. That might work.
Gillian!
Hey, Gillian! Huh? Over here! What's that? Gillian, over here! Random! Gillian, you gotta jump over to my bike! Hurry!
800 meters until we reach the current.
Metal, you go first.
What? Not again.
Move your butt. That curve's just ahead.
Understood. 1, 2, 3.
All right, Gillian. Now it's your turn. Keep her steady.
He's parked on random's head.
Gillian, jump! I can't. My timing's off.
150 meters.
Gillian, now!
70 meters.
Now, Gillian, now!
Oh, we're too late.
Gillian! I guess he didn't make it.
Don't bury me so fast. I'm right here.
Don't you even know how to ride a motorcycle?
Gillian, it's not much farther to Queen's Hospital, and you could probably use the exercise anyway. Why don't we just continue the rest of the way like this?
Damn, Metal.
We've arrived at Queen's Hospital.
Yeah, not chewed
This
up by
is
the
place,
motorcycle.
huh? Random, are you sure you know what you're doing? This isn't going to be a field trip, you know. We may not come back.
And the bounty for this one will more than make up for it.
If you're around to spend it, that is.
Gillian, let's get going.
Alright, so let's save it here. Because we're probably going to be running into quite a few things in a minute. I continue? Yes. Let's move inside. Yeah, the localizers had a great time, didn't they? Right, let's go. I think it's in room 1, you know. That's the most suspicious room in here. There has to be an entrance to lower level in here somewhere. It has to be in room 1 though, because that's the most sus one that I think. In room 1 looks like an operating room. Okay, so look around. Everything seems to be in order. Look, round room. Camera and lighting equipment for surgery everywhere. Yeah, great. Monitors. It's a virtual reality thing. Yeah. Right. The layer of dust on the sheet. The operating table. Okay. Not reading any motion. There's no one in the room. This is really bugging me. Yeah, no shit. Hasn't been maintenance of this equipment, yada yada yada. What, there's a shut off? It's an adjustable bed, covered with dust. Geez, you're really paranoid too. Yes, I am. I mean, there's a door there? What do you think this room was used for? Surgery, right? But it's not used now. Something weird about that? It's just another ploy of theirs, huh? After seeing all this, I think most guys would head home. There's gotta be a way to get to the lower level somewhere. Let's check out the other rooms. Okay. Move. Or 2. Some kind of a research lab? Yes. Talk. This was their research lab, eh? Yep, just a glorified closet now. A room on the end seems a little suspicious, doesn't it? Checked it out before. As you can see, there's nothing there. You might have missed something. Let's check really carefully. You have to trust your instincts. Use the force, Luke. How'd you actually go over there then? There's nothing alive here. Yep, this place gives me creeps. The Snatchers are going to show. I wish they'd hurry it up. This is getting pretty boring. Yep, equipment, yada yada. Ceiling, got the cobwebs in it. No sign that this room is being used at all. Yeah, that's repeating from last time. There's no sign that any of the containers or chemicals have been touched. They're all covered with an even layer of dust. Dust is the same as in other areas. equipment would need extensive maintenance before it could be used. For some reason, large number of containers. Gillian, be quiet, they'll hear us if you make noise like that. You never know where they may be hiding. Let's keep conversation to the absolute minimum, okay? Let's try room 3 then. If there's way down, it has to be here. I bet you're right, Gillian. So let's use the light. So coming on. That is now on. I turn control over it over to you, Gillian. This is the worst light ever. Okay. Nothing there. Simple vase. Monitor design freeze for the computer. Okay. Investigate this drawer. That's too bad, there's nothing there. Okay. Burial photograph. Okay. What do you think of this room? The lack of lights is weird. I can't think of any other reason for that. Maybe the Snatchers don't need lighter. This room may have some kind of a trap or other device in it. What kind of a device are you talking about? Why don't we just take a good look around? Okay, so yeah. Copy. Really specially designed for use by bad guys, huh? I mean, the fact that that's a simple vase really bugs me a little bit. What's this? Face to face. Doesn't this look like the picture that's on the wall of the chief's office? Yes, it does. Maybe it just never changed the light bulb. Yeah, probably. The famous optical illusion, isn't it? I get it. Their eyes don't register optical illusions. We better check that out. Not something a human would notice easily. It could be a sign of some kind. Bet this vase is some kind of a switch. Alright, I'll try lifting it up. Oh! The desk slid to one side, revealing a stairway leading down. Dun dun dun!
It looks like Jamie was right. Queen's Hospital does have a basement.
And that basement is the Snatcher's main lair. Out of the frying pan and into the fire, as they say. Well, what do we do now, Gillian?
Peep. Save first. Simple vase, yeah. Oh, would you like to save in? Okay. Yes, continue. It's getting good now though. Peep. Appears to go straight down. Doors visible below. Okay. Investigate. Motion detector. Don't read anything at the moment. So let's go down. Unlike the hallway, these stairs do not have any dust on them. In other words, our friends use this, right? Send stairs.
It's a very narrow stairway. We'll have to go down single file.
Okay, who's going to take the point?
That's obvious. The guy with the light.
Hey, that's not fair.
Well, well, what do we have here?
It's the hospital corridor.
It's the same hallway, but not the one that's on the first floor.
So what does that mean?
An entire floor of Queen's Hospital has been duplicated underground.
So the same floor is both upstairs and downstairs, sort of like parallel worlds.
So that desolate setup upstairs is all just a smokescreen. They're making it look like the place is closed down, but in reality, they're keeping themselves quite busy.
Gillian, that means we're already right in the middle of their headquarters. Please use extreme caution.
Extreme caution. Yes, let's sniff around and see what we got. Area. There's a reception booth in the middle of the floors upstairs. And there are 3 doors off the hallway. Everything is exactly the same. It's like we've jumped through time or something. It's It's been polished quite meticulously, nothing like upstairs at all. You see, it was a linoleum floor, huh? Monitors and control consoles also appear well cared for. In other words, this stuff gets looked at regularly. We better be real careful. It's a penis. Monitors? The monitors are switched off, but the AC power lamps are still lit. Everything's on standby. Doors? What? Yeah, that's everything. Okay, so I'm not going to bother looking at those. I'm going to just get the area. Construction and design of the hallways and rooms is absolutely identical to the floor above. It's waxed rather nicely. Yeah, because I haven't actually set up the points yet. So don't waste your points yet until I've actually set them up. They need like things tidy, don't they? Obviously used differently from the floor above. There are switches here to open the doors. Yes, switches. That's at the first floor. There are only 2 door switches. Really? Weird. Alright, I'll push switch 1. Okay, so that opens that one. So how do you open switch 3? Door 3 then? Investigate. Doors. Doors open. Door 3. It says morgue. Huh. Morgue as in where dead bodies are kept? Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so let's move into room 1. We're in room 1. Lights are on unlike upstairs. There's an operating table in the middle of the room. This appears to be their real treatment area. With these lights it actually looks like a real hospital. Various X-ray devices have been installed in the ceiling. A number of brand new medical monitors are installed. Appears to be a standard operating table. Cables run from it to a number of the machines around the room. So it's fine. Okay, so investigate. Why is look over and talk and smell? Okay, right, so around room. There's nothing of note besides the medical equipment. It's a pretty big place. Can't really see everything at once. Let's take a look from one side to the other. Fine. Besides the standard X and gamma rays, they also project neutron and proton particle beams with this equipment. I would suspect that it is used in cancer treatment. These are monitors for ultrasound, MRI scanners, and other imaging equipment. They are already connected to the nearby machines. The surface of the bed is still quite warm. It's as if someone was lying there until just moments ago. I'm not picking up any movement, at least not anymore. There was some movement, but I've lost it now. Okay. Smell. Oh yeah, it's that same smell you get at just about any hospital, an operating one that is. I wonder if this is where they carry out their treatment. Sure looks that way. Alright, let's look over the entire room. It's a Snatcher! Don't scare me like that, it's just a specimen. Investigate skeleton. This is rather grotesque. It's somewhat distorted. For a medical model, it's quite inaccurate. Model of a human skeleton, no doubt used for anatomical study. When you look at them like this, there isn't much difference between them and humans, is there? Well, we can't really see it though, can we? Okay. It's gone! What the hell? The skeleton is gone? It was definitely there a moment ago. I read movement, this room. Gillian, watch it! Get the gun out!
Did I get it?
The Snatcher's functions have been terminated. There's no doubt now that this is their maintenance facility.
Right, you have to shoot them in the forehead, okay.
To get its artificial skin installed.
So this is what they really look like, huh?
Yeah, that's the scariest thing about them. You can't tell them from real people once they've got that skin on.
Perhaps that's humanity's great weakness. We're always judging books by their cover.
And it's just that human weakness that they're out to take advantage of.
All right, Random. Metal, let's go. The HQ's junk squad can take care of him later. We've got an investigation to do.
I think it's definitely dead. Terminated this time. Yes, all its functions have ceased. I don't read any residual energy either.
Impressive! Looks like I misjudged you, Junker.
I was quite a tough customer. You get a few hundred of these together and that would be it. Subtlety of brick engaged, yeah. Gillian, let's get on with the investigation. I mean, obviously this has a lot of references to, you know, stuff like Blade Runner and Terminator and things like that, so it's bound to, you know, put them in at some point just to, you know, give people who are alert to them, like, a little bit of fun. I like it that way, though. It's pretty good. There we go. Right. Can we smell the Terminator? I mean the Snatcher. The stench from that Snatcher we wasted is still around. Okay. Look at Snatcher. Remains of the Snatcher are on the floor. Investigate Snatcher. Its functions have been completely terminated. It won't be moving again. Okay, good. So it looks like this is where they're doing their treatment. And the proof is over there on the floor. Okay, let's go. Just like the last one, you never know when they'll pop up. Keep your blaster ready, Gillian. Stinky Snatcher. Yeah, so have a look in room 2, which should be their lab, I think. That's not a sight I wanted to see, though. Look at this. Some kind of testing equipment is running. The real nasty sound gets on my nerves. Look around room. This room seems to be their real biotech research lab. Looks like Frankenstein could show up any minute. It's well equipped with micro manipulators, various types of lasers. There's a microsurgery system. No cobwebs in this room. Yeah, this game, well, Kojima's a pretty big movie nut, so it's kind of obvious that we're going to try and shove as many film references into it as possible. Whee! Eyeballs! Shelf. There are a number of jars for formaldehyde and other chemicals. A number of machines for biotech experiments. It seems they're quite serious about their work. Keep some blops. They're all finest quality monitors, microscopes and the like. Castlevania cameo. Samples, mutated cells and organs with tumors. I don't want to look at this stuff. Right, so investigate them. The room is illuminated with red light. It makes for a very disquieting atmosphere. What are they doing here? All these samples, this looks like a lot more than a place to treat skin cancer. Argon lasers, argon dye lasers. It's a device for selectively destroying certain types of cancer cells. They also have the latest gene cannon. Everything is quite neatly organized. There are samples here of monoclonal antibodies. What in the world is that? Antibodies which are said to have beneficial effects on cancerous melanomas. It's no mistake, this is definitely their maintenance hospital. DNA synthesizers, DNA sequencers, a nucleic acid extractor, chromatography equipment, automatic pipetting devices. It's a particle accelerator used to generate a stream of heavy particles for a number of different treatment techniques. The machine is in standby mode. Looks like the Snatchers were working on artificial skin regeneration techniques as well as various cancer treatments. There's quite an impressive array of equipment. Some university hospitals are not stocked this well. NMR, microscopes, STM, high voltage electron microscopes, electron beam holography cameras, streak cameras. The Snatchers obviously possess much greater intelligence than we previously given them credit for. Nevertheless, their technology seems somewhat dated. Dated? What do you mean by that? The equipment and techniques they're using, most of these methods were abandoned years ago. This is well behind the current level of technology in most developed countries. It's a rough approximation, but I would say that there are 20 to 30 years behind the times. What's more, judging from the imbalance of the research material here, appears to be primarily the work of one individual. You're telling me that all this work on the Snatcher's artificial skin is being carried out by one person and not some government institution? The design of this lab itself is in violation of a number of the biohazard prevention safety codes. While a few safety cabinets have been installed, there is no autoclave or gas sterilizer anywhere. It's quite far from P4 level. I seriously doubt that this lab was set up by a government or any other large organization. Yeah, so a Nobel Prize winner would be pretty fitting here, question mark. There are a number of cell cultures and other specimens. It's all rather grotesque. Smell? Ooh, what a smell. It smells like rotting fish or something. The smell of decomposing protein. That's the smell of cancerous skin cells like Gibson wrote about, huh? Skeleton back there was probably waiting to get his skin here, huh? You think this place is only used for skin treatment? Probably not. Save it. Yes. Okay. I don't think there's anything we can check here. No, just down to room number 3. If we can actually figure out how to open it. Investigate. Door 3. No doorknobs or handles. It cannot be opened manually. There are only 2 buttons here. There's only 2 buttons. Maybe it can only be opened using these 2 buttons. Switches. 1 and 2 at the same time.
Alright, let's try pushing both buttons simultaneously.
The 2 buttons are on opposite panels, so there's no way one person can push them both alone. But if 2 of us work together, it might do it.
That's it, Gillian. It makes perfect sense. It's the same system they used to use in nuclear missile silos in the late 20th century. Eliminates the risk of one man going nuts and acting alone.
Well, it's hard to be sure, but let's give it a try anyway. I've got button 1. Random, you push number 2. You ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Come on!
You did it! Door number 3 opened.
With safety measures like that, they must have had a good reason for wanting to keep it closed.
Just in case. Yes. Okay, so let's move into door 3. Are you ready, Random? Let's have a look at the last room. Welp.
Good God!
I read 4 human skeletons in this room.
It's their morgue.
Perhaps victims of the Snatchers?
Well, it doesn't look like whoever put them here was too worried about making sure they would rest in peace.
No, it doesn't. These have got to be their victims.
This is probably where they hide the bodies of the originals they snatch from places like Outer Heaven.
They probably picked Outer Heaven because it gets a lot of VIP traffic. Plus, during masquerade time, they could work the place and still keep their identities secret.
Yeah, and the guy who set up the link between them and Outer Heaven was Freddy, that taxi driver. They must have gone after him not because of who he was, but what he did. After all, with a taxi, there's plenty of chances to milk your customers for information. That's probably how they learned about outer heaven and Plato's cavern.
I've been wondering what they had done with the bodies.
Want to hide a book? What better place than the library? Need to hide a body? How about the morgue?
And for them, keeping the bodies hidden is crucial. I mean, if somebody who's supposed to be dead is out walking the streets, it wouldn't be too hard to figure out that something screwy is going on.
That means that if we can figure out who these bodies were, then we've just nailed 4 snatchers.
Okay. Smell. What a horrible smell. Okay. Look, around room. Appears to have been a proper morgue at one time, but now is being used as little more than a closet. Skeletons in the closet! Whoa. There is a ventilation duct on one side of the room. Remains? One of the bodies is still decomposing. The other 3 are a little more than skeletons. That's a nice image, isn't it? Especially at what time is it now? Nearly 11 o'clock at night. Duct. There's a cover on the duct, but it's been weakened by oxidation. Okay. Hey, can you explore anything else? Around room. There are a few droppings on the floor from mice who were no doubt feeding on the bodies. A number of different insect larvae have infested the body. It hasn't been well preserved to say the least. But it's definitely a human body. Estimated time of death. The insects infesting a decomposing body can be divided into 8 large groups. Each of those groups works on the body for roughly 15 days, making an 8 times 15 day or 4-month cycle. As such, an analysis of the variety, number and size of the organisms on the body allows a rather accurate estimation of which group is currently present. In other words, you can figure out how long the victim's been dead without analysing the body itself, right? On this particular body, flies have laid eggs, and the maggots have grown into adult flies, so it's been less than 30 days since death. As for the other 3 bodies, 1 full cycle has been completed, so at least 4 months have passed. Yeah, so the other 3 have been dead for months, whereas this one's fresh. Well, fresh. Fresh as a figurative word. Cause of death. Can you determine the cause of death? The bodies are severely damaged. Such a termination would require more expensive facilities than are available here. Yeah, it looks like reptiles just fertilized somebody, doesn't it? It's pretty gruesome, actually. Check the duct first. It's connected to an underground air circulation system. It may even lead into the tube liner as well. That duct is fishy, though. Identity? What about the identity of the victims? Hair, clothing, even teeth? Anything that could be used to make an identification is gone. Damn snatchers, they were careful to make sure their identities didn't get out. If we even had some teeth, we might be able to make an ID. Well, technically this one's got teeth. What about these teeth here? They've been deliberately misaligned to prevent identification. And I guess we'll never be able to ID them. Yeah, the teeth have been tampered with, so they can't actually get a proper ID out of them. Pretty sneaky. There is a way. What? How? We can perform a simulated reconstruction. Fortunately, the skulls of the victims are still intact. Reconstruction, eh? Good idea. Great idea. Okay, so reconstruct corpse. Let's do a reconstruction thing on the bodies.
Now performing simulated reconstruction of the head and facial features of each of the 4 victims. Commencing with victim number 1. Now performing craniometric analysis. X-ray and sagittal X-ray, magnetic resonance imaging, and positron CT data gathered. Complete cranial data now being compiled. Craniometric analysis complete. Now commencing reconstruction. First, victim's age. Estimate based on 1. Presence or absence of cranial fontanelles and chroma of epicranial sutures. 2. Area of facial region and cranium. 3. Height of upper and lower jaw and development of alveolar part. And 4. Location of cranial center of gravity. Next, victim's sex. Estimate based on 1. Overall size of cranium. 2. Parietal bone angle. And 3. Development of splachocranium. Lastly, victim's race. Estimate based on 1. Overall cranial configuration. 2. Volume of intercranial cavity. And 3. Mass of the skull. Now commencing soft feature reconstruction based on averaged results of above analysis. Reconstructing. Initial phase completed. Margin of error on estimate of victim's race 10% based on use of averaged values. Now adding postulated hair and eye features. Reconstruction of head of first victim completed.
It's Freddie Nielsen.
Moving on to second victim. Now commencing reconstruction of features of victim number 2. Now starting craniometric analysis. Complete cranial data now being compiled using the same techniques as the previous reconstruction.
This is pretty cool.
Craniometric analysis complete. Now commencing reconstruction using the same techniques as the previous reconstruction. Reconstructing. Initial phase completed. Margin of error on estimate of victim's race 10% based on use of averaged values. Now adding postulated hair and eye features. Reconstruction of head of second victim completed.
That Lisa.
That's Lisa Nielsen.
Yeah, that's Lisa.
Moving on to third victim. Now commencing reconstruction of features of victim number 3. Now starting craniometric analysis. Complete cranial data now being compiled using the same techniques as the previous reconstruction. Craniometric analysis complete. Now commencing reconstruction using the same techniques as the previous reconstruction. Reconstructing. Initial phase completed. Margin of error on estimate of victim's race 10% based on use of average values. Now adding postulated hair and eye features. Reconstruction of head of third victim completed.
Who in the world is that?
That's the director of Queen's Hospital, Shin Fui, what's his face,
Shin Shu O Gillian. Moving on to last victim.
Yeah, so that's the director of the hospital.
Victim number 4.
This one's the most recent. It's still decomposing.
Now starting craniometric analysis. Complete cranial data now being compiled using the same techniques as the previous reconstruction. Craniometric analysis complete. Now commencing reconstruction using the same techniques as the previous reconstruction. Reconstructing. Initial phase completed. Margin of error on estimate of victim's race 10% based on use of averaged values. Now adding postulated hair and eye features. Reconstruction of head of final victim completed.
The chief.
It's the chief!
What?
The chief is a snatcher! The Benson on the scrap of that patient record was Benson Cunningham.
Judging from the condition of the body, I would estimate that the snatching took place approximately 1 month ago.
So it was the chief who sabotaged our turbo cycle. In those matches we found in Harry's room, the chief must have put them there to try to set him up.
No doubt Harry figured it out and decided to leave that face-to-face message. Wait a minute. Didn't Mika say that Harry had left to go find the chief?
That's right. He was probably trying to track down some evidence on the chief.
Yeah, what about Harry though?
And I'd say that this Harry has put himself in a pretty dangerous spot.
If it was the chief that sabotaged the turbo cycle, doesn't that mean that he already knows we're onto him?
Damn! Harry and Mika are in danger!
Good face though.
That's far enough, Junker. Your little investigation is over.
It's them!
Who? Snatchers?
Get them!
My arm! I can't reach my blaster! I'm hit in the leg!
Is that the best you can do, Junker?
Who's there? Jin Shuo, you scum!
It seems you still have some fight left in you. You two are finished, but our plans move forward. We are now entering Phase 2. And when we do, not only this city, but the entire world will be ours to command.
Phase 2? What are you talking about?
As you know, our operations have been hindered up to now by the flaws in our artificial skin. The skin's shortcomings have kept us away from ultraviolet rays, forcing us to do our work at night, underground, or in the winter. In the end, we had to construct a hospital like this, all because of the flaws in our artificial skin. This was the only difference between us and you humans. But now we have broken this barrier.
Huh?
We are on the verge of developing a perfect artificial skin, thanks to the cooperation of a new partner in our plan.
Perfect artificial skin? A new partner?
Once we have the new skin, nothing will be able to stop us. And with that, our plan moves to phase 2. Our little experiment in this city will end, and we'll move in force to take over the world.
Don't be so sure. You won't get out of the city that easy.
You humans are always so overconfident, so naive.
What are you talking about?
I'm sure you're aware that the Kyoto Summit, being held to decide how to handle the Snatcher problem, opens tomorrow.
Metal, is that right?
Yes, countries around the world are concerned about the Snatcher problem. It will be one of the main topics discussed at this year's summit.
That's right. Tomorrow, we attack the summit.
You must be crazy. The security there will be incredible. You won't even get close.
Must I explain everything to you, Junker? Aren't you even aware that a fellow Junker will be giving a special presentation at the summit?
The chief.
The chief? Cunningham. So that's why you snatched him.
We've known that your chief would be speaking at the summit for over 3 months now.
Gillian, the summit is tomorrow. We have to hurry.
Listen, we have your chief. You Junkers are at our mercy, and so is this city. And tomorrow, we move on the world. Nothing can stop us now. We will finally achieve our long-awaited goal of global domination.
Who is this we you keep talking about?
We are an evolved life form, given life in the depths of the Kremlin by our creator, Modnar. We are a new race.
Modnar?
Modnar? The Kremlin? Those names are familiar, but...
Our goal is to snatch all of the world's leaders, and then achieve total control of human thought and worldwide racial unification.
You're insane. Humanity won't be so easily dominated. You underestimate the strength of the human spirit.
I think not. In the same way as the Nazis, our strategy begins with the overpowering of the spirit of the people. We will strike at you humans' weakest point, the most primitive part of your psychological makeup, your suspiciousness and fear. By provoking suspicion and mistrust throughout the populace, we will destroy that fragile fabric which holds your society together, that of trust. Fear is you humans' weak point. It is the primitive part of your brains that binds you forever to your animal ancestors and makes you vulnerable. By stimulating that part of your atavistic instincts, our plan can succeed magnificently.
Gillian, at this rate, they'll kill us all. You've got to get out alive. You're a junker.
Thanks for the follow.
Just what did you have in mind?
Bell Sorcerer.
I've got a big fireworks show ready for him. Better that than get snatched.
What? You're gonna blow yourself up? No, we're better off fighting together.
Hey, it won't work. I'm hit in the thigh. Ow, oh, damn. A bounty hunter can't do anything with a leg wound like this. Might as well have been shot in the head.
There must be some way out of here.
Hey, I wasn't doing this job just for fun. I stayed ready for situations like this. I've always been prepared to go out with a bang.
It's December. A little late for fireworks.
So it'll be an off-season show.
How's it going?
No, I can't let you.
My belt's packed with TNT PX. You know, that really strong stuff they use in the mines on Mars. One push, and this whole hospital will go. No trouble at all. No time to sit around thinking, Junker boy. Go! What are you doing? Get your butt moving, you fool! Get out through this air shaft. I've got a powerful strobe on me. Its flash will screw up their sensors long enough for you to get out. Now, you with me? Fireworks are better from a distance anyway, Gillian.
Are you two finished chatting? Then I think it's time for you to die. We're quite busy, you know.
You ready? When I give the signal, break into the air shaft and run, and don't forget your blaster.
Metal, stay with me.
Yes, sir.
Random.
Gillian! Doesn't look like I'm gonna have a chance to call in that debt you owe me.
Don't worry. I'll pay it back to the Snatchers with interest.
All right, go! Run, Gillian!
Rip. F in chat.
Metal, are you okay? Metal, something broken?
Okay, but it appears that language circuits have been damaged somewhat.
What happened?
Random blew himself up after getting us into this air shaft.
Random.
Gillian, that explosion should have taken all of Queen's Hospital with it.
The thick walls of this duct must have shielded us from enough of the blast. If it wasn't for Random, we wouldn't have made it. Oh, Random.
Gillian, we have no time for grief now. We must get back to Junker headquarters as quickly as possible. Harry and Mika are in danger.
Let's go!
Right. And I have to keep my promise to Random. But first, we have to figure out how to get out of here.
I can't see a thing. What should we do?
Save first. Yeah, they'd go deaf with an explosion like that. Yes. Continue at least until the next bit. Metal Gear, turn on light. Let's try moving forward. Could be Snatchers waiting for us. Please use extreme caution. How far does this thing go? Gillian, are you sure that this thing has an exit? Listen, you can hear the sound of water flowing. And we must be close to the way of this thing. Okay. Some kind of scratches here. Scratches? Check them out. My light isn't powerful enough. It appears to continue on. You can hear water. It can't be a dead end. Okay. Constructed quite well. There are signs that construction to reinforce it has been carried out. What's this? There's some sand spilled here. How did this get here? An air duct. The quantity of dust is quite low. That means this thing was used regularly, right? Yes, there's certainly no reason why anyone would ever deliberately clean a duct like this. Sneeze. Is it Snow 9? Maybe. Scratches? Scratch was caused by the scraping of a very hard claw-like object of some kind. A Snatcher? Maybe they were using this as some kind of shortcut or back route. Alright, I'll gather and analyze a sample of the air here. Gillian, the results are as I would have expected. Though the concentration is thin, there is definitely Snow 9 present. Snow 9, huh? Is it okay to breathe it? You'll be safe at these concentrations. And if not, use a mask. Motion detector. You picking up any movement? I'm afraid the shock of that explosion has damaged my motion detector. Fuck. Is it working or not? I'm getting partial readings, but they are not as sensitive as they should be. If we get attacked in a narrow area like this, we've had it. Please pray for us, Gillian. We've got to make it out of here. Damn. I have to depend on my own eyes and ears, do I? Yes. Listen. Probably a sewer or something nearby. I have to move forward then. Right. The light isn't powerful enough. It appears to continue on. Both the left and right side of the walls of... Yes, okay. We'll probably keep moving forward, but it's likely to be a dead end. Buried alive, huh? Great. Check real careful, there's gotta be a way out somewhere. Okay. Reinforcing bars formed of level 4 hardness steel alloy have been installed. It's quite strong. That's what saved us. Guess we should thank them, huh? Seems that this is not just a simple air duct. Okay. Floor surface is constructed of reinforced concrete. Does not seem to be just an ordinary air duct. Looks like the Snatchers have been using it to move around. With these scratches and the presence of Snow 9, I say it's definite. I sure don't want to meet up with any of them in a tight space like this. Kidding? Right now, analyzing the sand. Iron particles, high quantities of phosphorus. The type of sand is particular to the M district in Neokobe. M district? Around that old factory, right? What's that mean? It's quite unusual that this particular sand would be present here. It was no doubt brought here by somebody. Okay. Yes, the Snatcher was dragged through here. A human body would not cause such marks. Maybe that naked Snatcher we saw in the operating room? It's probably correct. An endostructure before the artificial skin was installed seems most likely. That's repeating. The farther we go, the higher the concentration. It must be coming from that direction. Okay. Not reading anything at the moment. Okay, advance. Jeez, this thing just keeps going. Insectors! Gillian, use your blaster. You gotta be kidding, not here. Okay. Fuck. It's actually kind of hard to shoot these, like, because you can't mash the buttons in order to shoot. Fuck. 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 Lucky. I'm no longer reading any motion. Dude, they really build a lot of those things, don't they? It was a close one, wasn't it, Gillian? Yeah, 4 hits. Much worse than I would have been saying walking through those pearly gates by now. I would have been saying walking through the... Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Those insectors must be the security for this area, which means at the end of this duct. I'm not reading any more motion. Let's move on. Don't want to meet up with any more of those spiders. Look, a way out. We're saved, Gillian. Metal, don't let your guard down. This is a rail station thing.
What in the world?
This is part of the tube liner, the city's long-abandoned subway system.
You mean Queen's Hospital and this were connected?
Yes, it would appear that the Snatchers were using this to move from place to place. This would provide them with the perfect way to move about while still avoiding the ultraviolet rays they hate so much. We should have realized this sooner. The city is crisscrossed by the tube liner's old lines, and since they are abandoned, the Snatchers could move undetected as well.
Aha! That's how those two we caught a glimpse of at the abandoned factory where Gibson was killed were able to disappear so quickly. They must have used this subway.
That would appear to be correct. The tube liner passes underneath that factory site as well. That would also explain why sand from the factory was in the air duct at the hospital.
So this is the trick they were using to stay out of the sun and avoid being seen while they moved around.
Now we know why it took so long to uncover them.
All right, let's follow the subway. We should be able to get out when we get to the nearest station.
How far does this bloody thing go? We're probably lost. I wonder where we are. Look. Well, can you see what's up ahead? Here's the tunnel continues for as far as I can see. Behind? Area we just passed through. I see nothing out of the ordinary. The only sound is that of our own footsteps. Well, can you hear any trains approaching? What are you saying, Gillian? The tube liner system has been abandoned for years. Well, how much farther do we have to go to reach the next station? Since I don't know what our exact present location is, I can't give you an accurate figure. This part of the system didn't have many stations. We will probably have to walk quite a bit further. I don't see anything else. I'm just there, Gillian. There's nothing unusual about it. Tunnel seems to go on for some distance. Gideon, what's wrong?
Look, metal, light!
Yes, but this doesn't look like a station.
There's a ladder.
Where do you suppose it leads, Gillian?
I don't have the slightest, but let's climb it and see.
All right, now climbing the ladder. We seem to have emerged into an odd place. Wait, this room.
It's Freddie Nielsen's bathroom.
What's up, Electro?
He was using this shaft from the bathtub to get down into the subway. So that's how he did that.
Ah, yes. As I recall, after you disposed of Lisa, he somehow entered the apartment without using the regular entrance.
Which he accomplished by using this secret passage into his bathtub.
The bathtub must be of a double construction. The bottom is actually a lid. When they wanted to hide the passage, all they needed to do was fill the tub. And to get in and out, they would just drain the water into another tank.
Jeez. Double bottom bathtubs? Abandoned subways? Snatchers really go out of their way to stay out of the sun.
Okay, Gillian, let's head outside.
Look. Round room. Looks like the junk team has already taken care of Freddy's remains. The ladder leading underground. You can see your reflection in the mirror. You will not be strangled like that again, thank you. Okay. Nothing has changed since we were last here. The apartment has been sealed off by the Junker Agency and New Kobe Police. Appears that the faucet was a double construction, functioning as a switch as well. Don't worry, there's nobody else in the reflection. Good. We're the only ones in the room. Alright. Save. Yeah, that's the weirdest thing. None of the police noticed this. Alright, so I'm going to continue a little bit longer, but see what we get up to next. So go to the living room. Move to... Take a look at that map. Okay, look at the map. It's a large-scale map of Moscow. Moscow? Chinchu over at Queen's Hospital had a picture of St. Basil's Cathedral. The chief keeps a picture of Red Square hidden. How come everybody is such a big Moscow fan these days? What's going on here? Moscow seems to hold some clue to this whole thing, doesn't it? Moscow. Did that guy say something about it? Before the explosion, didn't Qin Shuo say something about achieving what was meant to be 55 years ago in the depths of the Kremlin? Now that you mention it, this map is from exactly that era, isn't it? Moscow, 55 years ago. The key to understanding the Snatchers no doubt lies there. This has to have some meaning. I don't think they'd paste a 50-year-old map up here just as a decoration. It's a late 20th century map, okay. Now look at it again. There's nothing else. Move. Be careful that you don't touch the tape lines. Oh, for the love of... Shoot the bots. Thank you. Dee 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 dee. Right. Yeah. Okay. Tape. You mean this laser beam, right? Don't break the beam, Gillian. You'll have people from headquarters all over the place. It's a security sensor, you know. Channel Snatcher. So you gotta make sure nobody messes with the evidence after all. Yeah. Jeez, I feel like I'm breaking into the place or something. Bots are gonna be everywhere, though. I've seen them on other people's channels as well. It's not the first time. Plus, I don't actually have what is it? Verified phone number requirements on chat, so bots are bound to actually do that. Yeah, the bots were here since day one, basically. Outside of Nielsen's apartment. Thank God. Now let's get back to headquarters. I mean, if you turn on verified email and verified phone number, that usually stops a lot of bots from actually working. But not everyone wants to put their phone number into, you know, Twitch's database. So I tend not to do that with chat. Let's go to the turbocycle. Are there any taxis or something around here? When do we search the area? Okay, so investigate area. Got away from Queen's Hospital. It's very quiet here. There's not as many pedestrians in the area as usual. Yeah, exactly. So if I put verified phone number as a requirement to chat, then it'll stop people from actually chatting. The other option is to turn on follower only chat, but then that means people who lurk the channel that don't actually follow the channel can't chat. So, you know, gotta do something, unfortunately. Yeah, exactly. There's been obviously hacked accounts being used to spam as well, so bots are always going to happen, unfortunately, and there's not much else you can do about it. Look, there's a taxi over there. Man taxi, the driver is behind the wheel. Okay. Cab is for hire. Should we board it? Yes. Alright, in taxi. Alright, let's board the taxi. Yeah, that probably works as well, though, if you turn it on for like 10 minutes minimum, no number check required. There's lots of different ways you can do it, it's just I can't be asked to set it up properly. Plus, like, you get bots like once every 4 or 5 streams or something, so it's not really a huge problem to me. Boarded the taxi. Where to, sir? This is a manned cab. I can take you anywhere you want to go. Tell destination. Get us to the Junker headquarters as quickly as you can. Yeah, exactly. Viewer bots never follow anyway. Junker headquarters, eh? What do you want to go there for? Something going down? We're in a hurry. That's some kind of a joke, sir? You can't be serious. This is a manned taxi, you know. I can't go to a place like that. Now, I think we picked a weird taxi. Cars been modified to operate on manual only. This is a black taxi, you know. Don't be so nosy, okay? Face is concealed. Polarizing film has been placed on the rearview mirror. Come on, you know this unspoken rule. Drivers and passengers of black taxis aren't supposed to interfere with each other's business, you know? Yeah, Snatchers are like robots. Think of them as a combination of the Terminator and the replicants from Blade Runner. Basically, in this case, they, you know, kidnap and kill key people like VIPs and take their place. Investigate driver. Drivers of medium height, medium build. Come on, you know the unspoken rule. Drivers and passengers of black taxis aren't supposed to interfere with each other's business, you know. I'm a junker. Take me to junker headquarters and do it quickly. I'm afraid not. You're going somewhere else. You want to know where that is? Good hell. Junker! Snatcher. Chinchuo! Shot in the face.
Is he dead?
He's junk now. Stubborn one, wasn't he?
Jeez. He made it through that explosion and was waiting for us out here.
You've not seen Blade Runner. What are you doing? Go and watch Blade Runner now. It's a great film. Honestly, you are missing out if you haven't seen it before.
I know. And I have to pay back my debt to Random.
Let's use this taxi to get back to Junker headquarters.
I planned on it. I just hope Mika and Harry are safe.
Let's go. We've arrived at Junker headquarters. I certainly hope Mika and Harry are safe. You've not seen Terminator either. What are you doing? What are you doing? Alright, Metal, this is it. The final showdown. Are you ready? Let's go. Now entering headquarters. This is the lobby. Also, shit's happened. What? The shutter on the reception booth is closed. I'm gonna leave it on a cliffhanger though. Because it's getting kinda late. And it seems like there's a couple of hours left to play, so I'm gonna leave this until tomorrow. No. Yeah, Terminator 1 and 2 are probably the best films to watch in the series. Don't bother with 3 or, you know, fucking the rest of them. They're absolutely god-awful. Blade Runner and the new Blade Runner are actually very good as well. I actually like the new one, though. 2040, whatever it is. I keep forgetting its name. So many fucking films with like 2040 something in the name. Yeah, I know. But yes, I'm actually going to leave it there. So if you want to see what happens next, you are going to have to join the stream tomorrow at the usual time. Usual time being roughly 8 o'clock UK time. Yeah, basically. I think Alien is probably the best one out of the Alien series, though. But yes, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Everyone pester Oshawott to watch Terminator and Blade Runner. And I want a full review when we meet back up tomorrow, Oshawott. I need a full review, and I need ratings and a full synopsis from you. Preferably not from Wikipedia. So yes, thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow. We'll continue this on. Hopefully we'll finish it tomorrow. But yeah, I'm going to send you all over to somebody. I don't know who's streaming. I think Aquas might be playing. No, Anne's playing. Okay. So I'm going to send you over to Anne. She's doing something. Earthbound. Cool. So I'm going to send you all there. Have a good night. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. And hopefully we'll get to play... what was it? The other one. Police Notes. That's it. Over the weekend. But yeah, have a good night. See you tomorrow. Laters.